right, Audacity's up and running. That's all you get,
Good.
though.
Yeah, I'm using the snap of Audacity and the snap of Discord. So this is the first time I've ever used them, so we're going to see. Hopefully they work. They're working now, so.
June 27th.
Ah, crap, I didn't want to do that.
It's like you and Mike can't be on the same show at the same time.
I know.
Did you piss him off or something?
No, we talk all the time, so I have no idea. No, he was sick apparently.
Yeah, he did say that. He said he was sick.
He said he think you ate bad salmon or something.
Oh, right.
I'm like, yeah, that'll do it.
That's what it was. Sick of Josh.
Yeah, sick of me. Yep, that's how it goes.
All right, this time I totally waited until it said you're actually live before I minimized the window. So I think we're
Good on you.
Golden.
Good on you. Shall we
Yeah.
check it?
Yes,
See if it's
please.
working.
Yes, please.
I
Josh,
suppose.
Joe, and Tony Hughes.
mintCast is live.
Josh, since you're you want to go first? I'll let you intro the show and everything.
Not that far.
Okay, fine. Fine.
No,
Yeah,
you can go.
mintCast
You can
is
go
live.
if you want, because I don't know. I feel like
No.
you should go first. I don't know.
I do not care. You put me at the end for all it matters. It really does not matter to me at all.
That's all good. I'll just stay where I'm at. I think it seems good. I don't know.
I've
Like-
popped out the chat because if I have the YouTube channel open, for some reasons it buggers up Discord and the audio goes all choppy.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Too much good audio. You doubled up, Tony. You doubled up on the best audio on the internet right now, and I think your laptop couldn't handle it, man. It's too good.
I know. No, it happens on the desktop at home as well.
See, Linux Mint can't handle it. Oh wait, you're on Endeavor too.
No, I'm not. I'm on Mint 20.1.
Okay.
Although I downloaded that ISO last night and I burnt it to a. I put it in Boxes on Endeavour because Boxes is on Endeavour by default.
Oh, okay.
So I installed it in Boxes. So, and I've also got it on a USB stick as well now,
Got
which
it.
I burnt in Endeavour.
There are 6 people watching already.
Oh,
You guys
sweet.
are crazy. I appreciate that amount of crazy. Uh-oh. Nishant says he thought people hated snaps. What happened? What did we talk about snaps? We got to talk trash about snaps real quick.
Hey,
I did.
no,
Hey,
stop
I use
criticizing Snaps. Yeah, I use Snaps. I've been installing them
I-
today.
I this is the first time I've ever used them. Audacity and Discord is both in a snap right now, but there's a story
Oh.
behind why.
I see. I like
Well-
snaps on the server. That's
Oh, yeah.
where snaps shine for me. On the desktop, they still have some of those issues that are really that disappoint me.
My
And-
Discord app is Flatpak, actually.
Right. Yeah, I think
Most of the time
don't
I
know
use
if
that.
I don't know if I did the Deb or the Flatpak. I guess I could look, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Flatpak list.
I could find the Flatpak, but I couldn't find the Deb in the software store. It's probably
No.
available in Synaptic, but
No, it's not. You have to go to discord.com
oh,
and
do you?
download it that way.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hackathon. Nice. I used to run a hackathon at the
Okay,
the
should we get
school.
Audacity
Oh,
up and
fine.
running? Come on,
All
come
right,
on, let's
you're
get
right.
Audacity up and
I'm
running.
ready to go. I've been ready to press the R button this whole time.
Right. Okay, shall we do the 3, 2, 1, and then 25 seconds of silence? 3, 2,
Can you
1,
guess
record in
what's-
25 seconds.
Can you guess what's in here?
Whiskey,
Tea.
Yeah.
tequila.
No, it actually really is coffee.
I've got coffee and water.
Yep. Okay, sorry. I'll stop stalling. Let's
All
go.
right. Everyone?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, record. Oh, my record didn't start. Just a minute. I'll have to do it again.
Dang it.
Oh, Tony, what are
Take
you
It was
doing?
my
two.
fault. My fault. I pressed the wrong button. 3, 2, 1, record. Yay, no
are you-
trucks.
What are you jingling over there, Josh?
It's my tortoise. I can't help it.
Oh,
She's just walking around.
that's funny.
I'm trying not to, but or trying to have her not move, but it's impossible.
She's a slow tortoise. How does she take so many steps?
She's
Well,
not
Tony
slow.
can't.
It's
Tony
scary.
can't complain about the rest of us making the show take too long. It's his fault
know.
we're running late today.
No, it is. Hey,
All right.
come on. Come on.
Let's 3, 2, 1,
Never
0. How
my
about
fault.
that?
All right, let's do 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Zero.
Pretty close.
think we
Yep.
made it. We have been successful.
I do have a mute button, so that'll be good.
Yay!
So do I.
You know what? Just test. Nope, my mute button doesn't work today. So, you know why? It's because I plug in my thing, my USB audio interface after it boots. I think that's what it is. But I sound fine, right?
If you
Yep.
say so.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think everything's good. I'll keep her quiet.
Okay.
All right. Oh, what I needed to do real fast. Oh, y'all did it for me. Oh wait, Linux Mint Beta is out. What else are we talking about? Let's see. I forgot. Oh, Rocky Linux and Elementary OS Beta. Oh, you know what? Did I do it? I never upgraded Firefox. Well, sad times, everyone. Sad times. Joe is heavily medicated. All right. So does that mean you're going to go slower than usual or faster than usual?
Depends on the medication.
I could take it really slow.
Sweet, so faster than normal.
I could go
All right.
full Kirk if you really want it.
Ooh. That could be fun. All right, check it out, guys. Look what time it is.
Oh, you ain't got to say it like that.
Are we ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready.
All right. I think we might. We're gonna be on time. We're on time. You know what I didn't do is get the.
And now we're
music
late.
Ready again? No, we're not. We're totally not because I'm about to start the show, but I have to let everybody know that I forgot the music again. So, whoops. All right. Last chance. Everybody good?
Yeah, I'll mute.
All right. Welcome to mintCast, the podcast by the Linux Mint community for all users of Linux. This is episode 364. This is episode 364.5. Livestream information is at mintcast.org/livestream. We're in the mintCast channel in IRC at irc.spotchat.org. If you see something that you'd like to hear about, tell us. Send us email at mintcast@mintcast.org. Join us live on YouTube. Post at the mintcast subreddit. Chat with us on Telegram, Discord, Facebook, or post directly at mintcast.org. This is Leo, and with me today is Josh.
Hey, I'm back.
Woo. Joe.
Hello.
And Tony Hughes.
Hi, guys.
We're recording on Sunday, the 27th of June. First up in our wanderings, I go eco-friendly. Josh's DHCP fails. Joe is heavily medicated. And Tony is playing with Endeavor OS while on holiday. Then in our news, Linux Mint Beta is out. Rocky Linux is official. And Elementary OS tries Beta 2. 2. In our innard section, we talk traveling studios. And finally, the feedback and a couple things to check out. Pretend there's music. So the past couple of weeks, I've been fighting. Okay, so I told y'all I had a single fan, 120 millimeter, all-in-one liquid cooling solution thing. Well, it turns out I didn't actually have to change it because 90 is not bad. So the backstory is I have an AMD 5800X. By the way, Josh, what is your sit at temperature-wise? Did you test it?
Mine typically sits at less than like 80 when I'm
Okay.
like full bore. Like that's full bore. That's
On a
not,
game, right?
Yeah, on a game. Like usually mine's on idle around like maybe like 30 some, maybe
Yep.
40 at the most.
Yep. All right. So have you tried like Prime 95 or Stress in Linux?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When I talk about full tilt, when I say full tilt, I usually mean like some sort of stress test.
Got it.
Like-
So what are you cooling it with?
That it's an Arctic 34 freezer, and it's the one with only one fan. There's one with two fans, and to be honest, the test results were like 2 degrees Celsius difference, and I could save
Okay.
$5, so I went with the
Yeah,
one fan version.
I think we talked about this. Ew.
I
Ew,
love it.
stop
I was totally blown away because before this, I had a fully water-cooled, custom
What?
water-cooled system, and
do you-
not on this CPU, but on my previous computer, and I thought I was going to have to do the same for this one, but
And a
definitely not
5800X, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, very cool. Maybe I'll try this one out. But anyway, so I got the Cooler Master Hyper 212, blah blah blah. That finally came in, and it did keep me under 90 at full load. So I was happy about that. It was like in the upper 80s, still a little hot, but it's okay. It'll work. And
What's your fan configuration for your PC? The whole thing? Is it like pull? Is it push? I mean, sorry. Is it static pressure, or is it blowing in, or is it blowing all of them out? The
so
fans.
I've got more air coming into the case than blowing out. So it should have that static pressure, I think, is what that is.
Right.
So I mean,
right.
like by default, the case is expelling air.
Have you? Oh, okay. So it's pulling the air out of the case. They're all facing
not-
out.
No, not with fans. So I'm
Right.
pulling enough air in that
Oh, it's
that
expelling
every
the air
hole-
out of the crevices, any crevices
Right.
that it has. Okay.
Exactly. So yeah.
Have you tried
Now-
a different configuration with that?
I haven't, because this is the only configuration that I have air directly blowing on the things that are hot. So
Oh, okay.
that's my biggest deal. And then I've got air pulling up out of the top. Like there are
Right.
fans on top pulling air up.
Oh, okay. All right.
It doesn't seem to be that. It seems to be the heatsink itself, or the ability for the heatsink to actually pull heat off of the
Yeah.
CPU.
And that's with
but
your
I
water
mean-
cooler, right?
Well, no. So I've that one was letting me sit at 90. It was I assume it was throttling at that point.
Yeah.
But with the Hyper 212, which is just it's like your cooler. I've got a
Right.
fan blowing onto the heatsink, and then a fan pulling air from
Outside.
the heatsink. So, yeah,
In the
there's
back
two.
or in the front?
Both. Right.
Okay.
So just like yours, right? You have the one fan. I've got two.
Right.
So the front fan pulls it in, the back fan.
Oh, on the cooler itself, yeah. And then you have a
Yes.
fan on the case that blows air out. of your case
No,
behind that?
no, just simply because the air is already go. You could put your hand at the back of the case
And you can feel it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a
Okay.
ton of it.
So there's enough
So-
static pressure to push the air through.
Yeah.
All
So that's what's. Yeah, I don't know. But the 5800 apparently, as I've gone down this rabbit hole, is notoriously hard to cool. But I found, I think it was PC World or PC Mag, one of those, where they interviewed the marketing guy for the whole Ryzen 5 series, and he said it's not a big deal. Like sitting at 90 under full load, not a big deal. We designed it that way. So I was worrying about this because from all the CPUs that I've come from, anything above 70 is getting toasty. You
Yeah.
probably
A
need
lot-
to look at what's going on.
A lot of your newer CPUs and even your newer graphics cards are being designed to run at higher temperatures because, well, there's more power going through.
Yeah, they're
them,
pushing it
and-
pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not really worried about it when I'm gaming. I don't think it ever topped 75 during a game of any kind.
Yeah,
you know.
that sounds
But-
good. That sounds perfect, actually.
Right. And what I during handbrake, like transcoding videos, things like that, it'll hit mid 80s now. Before on the water cooler, it would hit 90, but now it's in the 80s. But the fact that I know now that it's not a big deal for it to hit 90, I could have just kept the water cooler and been fine. But
Yeah, but if it's throttling at 90 though, you're losing
Yeah.
performance at that point. So you want to
Mm.
keep it a little cooler.
well, so here's the deal. You don't really lose that much performance if you cut it. So there are eco modes that AMD has that the motherboard supports, that the chips support. It's called AMD Eco, and the couple of options that I had, well, there were a ton of options, but the ones that I chose that were super easy were, it's 105 watt CPU. You can cap it at 95 watts, and that I've never seen it get above mid 80s, and that's transcoding video, doing mining, or using Prime 95 or anything like that. It sits at a cool 85. And then 65 watts, when you cap it there, I didn't see it go above 70 at all. But here's the deal,
Yeah.
right? So a 1080p video that I was transcoding down to 720p, I went from a minute 47. That was the fastest. That was unthrottled, uncapped, 105 watts. 95 watts, 2 seconds. That's the difference. A 2-second difference between that same exact transcode.
Oh,
When I-
okay.
when
I
I
thought you meant
capped
2 seconds like it did in 2 seconds. I'm like, wait a minute,
Oh
hold on.
no. So it was 2 seconds slower, but I saved 10 watts on the top end, and I capped the temperature as well. So
Yeah,
I
that's perfect.
I cranked it down to 65. I think 65 is a sweet spot if you care about temperatures. I did not see it move over 60. It was like 68, 69, something like that. I didn't see it climb above that. And the transcode, so compared to the 105 unthrottled, whatever, it was 8 seconds difference. That was it. It took 8 extra seconds to transcode that thing. I would not have noticed. I absolutely would not have noticed. So I'm okay with
even
the
20
95.
seconds wouldn't have bothered me, to be honest.
I think the whole transcode took a minute 47, if I remember right. It was like a minute 40, high 40s.
Yeah,
And that was it.
That's perfect.
2 seconds more for the 95 throttle or cap, and 8 seconds more for the 65 watt cap. I would have been fine with any of those. That's perfectly fine. And 65 watts, that cap, those are the temperatures I expect out of a CPU. So if it ever bugs me ever again, I'll just cap it at 65 and call it a day. But I couldn't believe it. I didn't realize it was that easy to chill out a CPU. I didn't know those options existed until I saw someone talk about it.
How did you get to those options? Are they in the motherboard?
Yep. So I got into the BIOS. I went into advanced CPU. So you have to go.
And you have
into-
MSI, right?
Yes. Do you?
Okay, I have a gigabyte, so I don't know if I'll have
Oh.
those options.
Well, find advanced CPU options.
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere, and
I'll be
I
able to
can't remember
find it.
I'll take a picture of it later today, and I mean, not that it'll be called the same thing because everybody decides to call everything different, even though they're the same exact
I'll be
thing.
able to find it. I'm sure I can Google it. I'll be like, yeah,
Right.
easy.
But anyway, my heat woes are over. 95-watt cap is perfect. I think I'm gonna leave it there forever. I can't notice a difference. I don't notice a difference in gaming. So yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it's sitting at 95 watts, streaming this magical show straight to your eye holes. So I think we're good. Anyway, so Josh, your internet is blowing up. I don't know what's going on. What's happening? Get us caught up.
I don't know either, to be honest. It's
The evil
been
ISPs, man.
What was that?
It's the evil ISPs. They do it to you every time.
That's all I can say because I have no idea what's been going on. My old modem was fine, and then I got this new modem. It's a Motorola MB8600. It's for gigabit and all that stuff. I upgraded to gigabit, and ever since then, I've been having these issues where, at first, I noticed it when I would try to run my Echo. I would try to say the wake word, and then I would say what I want to do. And then it would sit there for 30 seconds, and it would flash, and then it would do nothing. And I'm like, that's weird. Why is it doing that? So then later on, I was trying to use Element and Matrix, and I noticed that it kept trying to connect, and it wouldn't connect right. It took like 10 seconds to actually connect. And then every time I sent a message, it would take 10 seconds to send and all that crap. And I'm like, this is weird. So I looked into the BIOS, the error logs of my modem, and I'm getting like tons of errors. I'm looking at least 25 errors right here.
Whoa.
And I had no idea where to start to look for this stuff because I searched it online. I did pretty much everything to find out what was going on, and there's so many different things that people have done to try to fix this that it's crazy. And it's like each one has like 10 different fixes, each error. So I'm like, I didn't even begin to try to go through all that. Because one guy actually said that he tracked it down, one of the errors, he tracked it down to it being a junction box in his neighborhood that was old, and they had to replace it. And I'm like, okay.
Hold on, wait. Are you telling me the ISP actually listened to a customer and like
after weeks and weeks of
oh, got it. Okay.
Of delegating or whatever you call it, deliberating. Yeah. So I don't know. Even Dale said to me, Dale Miracle, he said that it could even be an old wire that they have going to my house. It's just not quite right, or it's got corroded or something like that, and just every so often it's giving a weird signal to the modem.
Got it.
So I don't know. And then today I was looking at the logs and I was talking to Tony, and I told him that the time's off on my logs on the errors. It says it's going to happen 3 hours from now, the error, and I'm like, that's wrong. And then he mentioned that it could be a timing issue, and I had no idea I didn't even think about that at all. So now I'm gonna have to call the ISP and see if that could be a problem, and maybe I can figure out a way to fix it there.
So
but at this point, I think I'm gonna have to call the ISP. That's all I can think of.
Is this did you say it's cable or fiber?
This is, as far as I know, it's cable.
Yeah, cable, yeah. So these Motorola modems are actually fairly decent. Well, I have an Aris. But it's like Aris Motorola or whatever. But you can actually, where did you get those logs, by the way?
I went into 192.168 100.1, and then I went in there into event logs.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Maybe there would be more info, but apparently not. This is the info.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it, right? Time synchronization failure.
Yep, that happened on May 11th.
Yeah.
What?
I said, I wonder why you would be getting that though.
I don't know, but that hasn't happened. Well, as far as I know, because it skips. Okay, it goes from May 11th. Then it says on my logs, time not established twice. Then it skips to May 12th. May 12th. All these are critical errors, and then 2 are time not established, and then it skips to today. But I've been having issues since May 11th till now, and it's just the logs are just not there. I don't know. Maybe it can't hold them all.
But it is now updated and on time today.
No. Today the error it still says the error is going to happen at 17:04, and it's 15:15 here.
Okay.
So
So did you buy this modem, or is
Yes,
it
I did. I
provided?
bought this
Okay.
modem, and I made sure that it was compatible with their service. I
Did
even
you
They're
called.
all
buy it
compatible.
new, or did you buy it used?
I bought it new.
New.
Yep,
Big box or online?
online,
Okay.
and it was from Amazon.
Okay. Well, send it back.
Try to get a new one.
Yeah.
Then he'll be
All right.
he'll be without internet for a little while.
Do you still have the old
I have
one?
my old one. I can just
Yeah.
hook it up, and I'll just get crappy speed for a while.
So
But it'll work.
do they allow you to do that? Because
I'll have to
the
call
last-
them up, and I'll have to call them up and get them to redo it or
Right.
set it up.
Is your old one DOCSIS 3.1?
Yeah, 3.0.
Okay. So I don't know. My ISP was giving me crap about putting the old modem back in an emergency or something like that, and they were like, "No, it's got to be DOCSIS 3.1. We can't do that."
What?
So
That's ridiculous.
maybe, I mean, worst case scenario, you could ask them to downgrade your service if that is what.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can just plug them up.
I'm gonna have to try something.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what you should do is you got a Best Buy around you?
I do. Yes.
Just get one and plug it in, and if it doesn't work, take it back. And if it does work, send the other one
Oh,
back.
that's actually really. I didn't even think about that. That's a really
Yeah.
good idea.
That way you're not out any time and everything's good. You still have to
Yeah.
call because they have to get that
Yeah.
number. But
Do you think I should buy the exact same model and try it, or do you think I should buy a different model to see if it's?
Well, if Micro
model.
Center if your Best Buy has the exact same model, then buy the exact same model and accidentally take the wrong one back.
no, because they have to do the serial numbers on them. But what I would recommend seriously is go with Eris. I've never had a problem with them. Every time I thought it was the modem, it was the router, or it was the ISP.
Right.
Every single time. I mean, this last week, I had trouble getting the stream up and everything like that. I was like, the ISP's messing with me, man. They're doing something horrible. I just needed to reboot my router. Yeah, none of that. It was none of that. It never has been the modem. The only thing that's ever gone wrong with the modem is it got struck by lightning once. And that's because I'm an idiot and didn't put the little coax in and out on the surge protector.
I gotcha.
That was
I
my
don't even
fault.
know what modem I have. I know I bought it like 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I've got an
It's
Eris.
going pretty good.
It's like
Yeah, I
one-
never had a problem with a modem, any modem I've ever used, and this one for some reason is just, I don't know.
I don't
And it's
remember.
definitely supported by them because I looked on their website today and it's still supported. It's not like they dropped it or some stupid crap like that. Because I actually just saw that
Ew.
today where somebody actually had it dropped while they were setting it up, and then they yelled at them for having a one that wasn't, supported.
Right. I think this is what I've. Nope. 6190. Nope, it can't be that one. That must be the previous one that I had. Must be this one. This is the one that I've got. It ain't amazing, but it works. No, see, it can't be because I don't have 2 Ethernet ports, but I know that I'm getting gig.
Well, that's why I got this one because this one has 4 Ethernet ports on it.
Oh,
So I
you
was
got
gonna-
the
I
whole
was gonna-
router thing going.
Yeah, I was going to separate my networks out. I was going to use all my IoT stuff on one network and, all that stuff. But now I'm kind of like,
Yeah,
I'm crazy with the whole thing.
I swear this is the one. Maybe it's not.
You know what's dumb about mine though? When you buy it from Amazon, it has a sticker on the back that only shows one port, and you take the sticker off, and there's 4 ports underneath it that actually work.
Oh, see, yeah, no, this is the one that I've got. And here's what's funny about it. It says up here, 960 megabits down. And then on the box, it says 1.4 gigabits. What? I bought it because it said 1.4 gigabits.
Maybe that's 1.4 on fiber and 900 on cable.
Nishan asks, which ISP? I'm on Suddenlink. They're big down here in the south. And what do y'all think about Starlink, speaking of internet?
I don't know yet.
When they
I
get-
haven't seen enough of it yet to really get a good grasp.
When they get gigabit speeds, I'll think about it.
So here's why I will not do Starlink because it won't work. It won't work for half the year because apparently once those Starlink dishes heat up to about 130 Fahrenheit, they stop working, and it's that's the
fun.
whole summer in Texas. So I mean, and summer lasts 9 months. Okay, maybe not 9, but like it really is a long amount of time. I mean, seriously, you could
No,
consider
there are
summer
some
for 6
years where
months.
it does last 9 months.
I mean, summer started in like April for us. We had 100-degree days in April around here, and it's not going to stop until probably around Halloween. So it's really hot a lot, and the skies are really clear a lot, so the sun beams down a lot, which means that it's going to heat those dishes up a lot. And they were already having a lot of this trouble earlier, a few months ago in Arizona and Nevada, with the same problem where the dishes were heating up and it just didn't work. So I would love to do Starlink. I just don't think it's feasible for me here.
Yeah, like
Wow.
I said, I have to hear a little more about it. It's too new for me. I don't like trying brand new stuff.
Oh yeah, so it's hot in India as well. So yeah, it's just unfortunate that I feel like the engineers should have known that because we're very hot lately.
I say that a lot of times with engineers. I'm like,
Yeah,
why
you're
didn't
right.
they
Yeah,
know this?
yeah, they're way smarter than me, and I thought of it.
The daft thing
Oh,
is,
they knew it. They just didn't want you to know it until after you paid
Mm.
for it.
yeah. But
Yeah,
the daft
true.
thing is, Starlink was put in to try and reach parts of the world that didn't have wired connections, and most of those parts of the world are some of the hottest.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that's not a lie.
And you know what's funny about that is I know what part of the world you're talking about, Tony, but it's very similar. You drive 40 miles in any direction from where I'm at, and you're in that part of the world. There's not a whole lot, man. There's dial-up and
Yeah,
there's
there's
crappy
a reason
WiMAX.
they put air defense artillery at Fort Bliss, and that's because it, well, is so similar to those nice warm places overseas where air defense artillery needs to go most of the time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully in 2025, when Nishant said he might get it because he signed up, hopefully they'll fix those heating issues by then.
They have to fix them. There's no way, or else it's just not going to work.
Right. Yeah, seriously. All right. So you've left us. You've left Ubuntu proper. What is going on?
No, I didn't leave Ubuntu. I went back to it.
Oh.
I
Oh.
went to straight up Ubuntu because I needed ZFS, and I know I'm a ButterFS guy. I know,
Mhm,
and I
mhm.
still will not, bat on it because it is good. It's just I needed reliable RAID 5,
Right.
and I don't trust ButterFS enough in RAID 5 to do that because they don't have the fix for the write hole, where if you lose power, then the whole thing crashes while you're writing,
Ah,
to the disk.
right.
But ZFS has that fixed, so that if it crashes while you're writing to the disk, it'll still continue from where it left off, and you won't have a problem next time. Like what
Ah.
I mean by that is if you copy the data back to it, it'll say, "Oh, this data is already here. Do you want to skip this and start from the where you were last left off?"
Oh wait, so what you're saying is ZFS will literally write what it's already written, and then if you try the copy again from scratch, it'll just pick up where it left off.
Right. It'll be
And
like the data was already on the disk.
right. And so ButterFS won't do that? As in
Well, because of the write hole. That's what the write hole is if it loses power while it's writing in RAID 5 or RAID 6, it won't remember where it's at, and you'll lose everything that was being copied before that. And then everything that's on the disk, like everything that's on the disk will be done.
Oh
because
wait,
of
the whole disk will
Yeah,
die?
the whole disk, because the RAID will fail, and it'll just not mount, and you'll have to restart.
Wow, it's just another reason never to use RAID, man.
Yeah, but ZFS has that fixed, so
Right.
you don't have to worry about that with that, and that's why I used it. And I found out that Ubuntu, straight up Ubuntu, is the best for ZFS because the other ones, you have to load the DKMS module, and if that's not up to date with your kernel, and you have a newer kernel, it won't load the
Oh,
ZFS
right.
module, and you're screwed.
Right, because it's out of tree. Yeah,
But
it's not even
Ubuntu
in the
has it
kernel.
in the kernel, every
Right.
kernel, so it always loads. And I haven't had a
Right.
problem so far. It's only been 3-4 days, so it hasn't been that long, but
Right.
it's worked.
Right. So I guess that's an interesting thing. So
And I just did it because
why?
I needed more space. That's why, because I needed more. Because
Oh.
I had everything in mirrors, and I'm like, man, it's like
Right.
80% full now. I need more space, and I can't afford drives right now. So I'm like, I'm gonna do RAID 5 and just go with it. And I
Yeah.
looked into ButterFS, and I'm like, I just don't trust not having the right hole fixed
Yeah.
because of that whole issue. So I'm like, I'm gonna just go with ZFS and be done with it.
Man, move that data soon. I mean, just personally, I don't trust RAID enough because what with RAID 5 you can lose one disk, with RAID 6 you can lose two, but you also you give up more disk space to use RAID 6 in the first place.
Yeah,
But
right.
I mean, are all of your disks like from the same generation, or are they just kind of mishmash of all kinds of things?
The 3 discs that are in my desktop are different. They're all different from different times. The 4 I got from Dale, I don't know if they're all the same disc or not. I'm not sure.
You've got a ton of disks. I see.
Yeah, I have 10 in my whole system. So,
Wow. Do you have that many SATA ports? You have to get a card for that?
no, I have 4 that are outside of my on a USB hub.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
Wow.
but
All
but
right.
it only shows up as 5 discs because of the RAID. It only, mounts 5 discs.
Right.
So,
Man, I just do not. I don't know. I've been bitten by RAID too many times,
well,
man.
I have 3 backups of everything, so that is not. I'm not
3?
too worried about that. I have
Wow.
these 2 RAIDs, and then I have at my parents' house. I have all my data on another RAID 10 system, which I'm going to switch to RAID 5 once I can figure out how to bypass the hardware RAID controller, because ZFS does not like when you use it with a hardware RAID controller.
Nope.
Because the hardware RAID lies to ZFS and it says, oh, the data's been written. Oh, but it's not written. So ZFS gets
Right.
confused and then everything craps to bed.
Yeah. If you're lucky, that card will have a pass-through mode.
I hope
But if
so. I
But if it
really hope so.
doesn't, yeah, if it doesn't, you're kind of
Yeah.
SOL
And I'm
on
not
that.
trusting it. It's too old to really trust with RAID 5 at this point. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, and the age, that's another thing that gets me. I mean, if they're newer discs, the thing that'll bite you is if they're all from the same manufacturer and they
Right.
all have a flaw.
Right.
But yeah, if they're
that's
mixed age, it makes me worry.
right. That's what I want to try to do. I want to try to go along and buy like one here, one there once I get the money to do so. And then I'll just kind of get a bunch from different times, except for now I won't go to Western Digital because, you never know. They might just
Right.
decide to randomly delete your data. No, that's just with the
right.
MyCloud thing, though.
True.
that's not regular discs, but yeah. So yeah, that's that. I'm on ZFS now. Yeah, I know, hypocrite, whatever, yada yada. So yeah, other than that, I switched my whole desktop around, and I actually I have 3 SSDs in it, and then I have the hard drives. And the 3 SSDs now, one has Windows on it, one is going to be for distro hopping, and then one is going to be for Ubuntu to, make sure I have somewhere to go to get my ZFS. So that's going to be interesting to manage, but I never had a problem with it before. I just never used 3 separate disks. I've only ever used 2. So we'll see how that goes.
I totally forgot to mention this. I just bought a Western Digital Black NVMe for this new build, man. I'm excited for it.
How are they, like, when SSDs and NVMEs first came out, always with Seagate and Western Digital, they were always garbage compared to like some of the other brands like Intel and that, because they were like trying to switch over from hard drives to SSDs, and they were like kind of franticing and all that crap.
Well,
so are they okay now?
This is like 3rd or 4th gen. I don't know. I haven't installed it yet. I haven't got it yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know. But I came from ADATA, who I did trust with SSDs. I think it was like an SX7000 NP, maybe. Anyway, so it's like 1800 or 1200 your show on read, and like 700 on write. So it's better than SATA, but it wasn't the fastest NVMe. Now I think this one's going to be like 3600 and 2600. So
yeah, I got a really cheap NVMe. I got that oh crap, what's it called? I can't think of it. Not Sabrent. That's the, what's you want to call it? The storage drives, the external. Anyway, but I got a really cheap one. It says it's supposed to be 3,000 right, but it only does about 1,000. But I paid cheaper than any of the 1,000 gigabyte drives.
Oh, okay.
So I don't care at that point.
Just going back to Western Digital, I've got 2 Western Digital Blue 1 terabyte SSDs in my tower.
Yeah.
I've had one of them for just over a year, and I bought the other one about 3 months ago, and they're fine. They
Oh.
are 2.5-inch SSDs, not
Hmm.
NVMe.
That reminds me, I do trust Western Digital like a lot because I have a 500 gig Western Digital Blue in my network storage. So that's where all the Plex cache is, and that thing grows like every day because Plex is weird. I went from a 64 gig 2.5-inch SSD to a 512 gig NVMe because I mean, you better be fast, Plex. Like when I press play, I mean play. So, and it's been chugging along for a good 6 months or so. Not a single problem. I haven't seen any disk errors, nothing like that. No slowdowns. The boot time is insanely fast. So it's good. I'll do reboot, and seriously, like 8 seconds later, I can SSH back into it. It's fantastic.
Well, that's cool. Well, anyway, that's basically what I've been up to. So, Joe, how are you?
I'm doing
are you?
okay. Yeah, I'm heavily medicated. It's quite fun.
Yay!
Well, anyways, I had some issues with my 3D printer over the last couple of weeks and had a lot of trouble tracking it down. I tried several different times to clear what I thought was a clog, but that turned out not to be the issue. I re-leveled the thing hundreds of times to get it
What-
just right, and that
what was-
also wasn't the issue.
What was clogged up? You need some Miralax, maybe?
Sure. Okay. Mhm.
All right.
So then I thought it might just be the particular spool of PLA. You know, you get so far in and then, you know, it's moist and so won't print properly. So I switched that out and that didn't work either. It was still having the same problems. I ended up tightening up the feed mechanism and that helped a little bit, but I was still getting under extrusion and the occasional midair print where it simply wasn't pulling in any of the filament. What it actually turned out to be the problem was the Texas heat, which seems to be a common factor in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Anyways, my dry box has this piece of silicone rubber tubing, clear tubing. I built my dry box, so and that the filament runs through. And normally there's not a problem there, but with the Texas heat, that made that tubing very tacky, which was adding a lot of resistance to that filament line, preventing it from getting pulled through, and that was causing the problem. So the fix was to remove that tube and just allow it to come directly out of the box. I do have to reset up some things on my dry box. I need to 3D print some kind of grommet to go in there to the hole where the silicone tubing was to shrink down the size so that way I'm not allowing in moisture. I need to dry out my desiccant and put it back in there, and then that'll be good to go.
You're on an Ender 3, right?
Yeah, Ender
Okay.
3 V2.
Ah, V2, the
Yeah.
second version.
Yeah, you gotta be kind of specific because there's a whole bunch of Ender 3s.
Yep. There we go.
So I finished setting up my Resilio sync between my phone and my server. I'm getting all the permissions set up on my tower so that I can put the folders for it anywhere without any permission problems. So basically just cross-linking the groups for my main user and Resilio so that that works properly. I added back in a bunch more of the file automation that I had previously had. It's really just file shuffling, just moving things around so that they'll get copied to the proper locations or automatically appear on my Plex or automatically appear on my phone or from my phone to specific folders. Like take a picture, it goes from my phone to my server to one of my laptops so that way I have backups all the time. With my back being messed up, I've been playing a lot of Borderlands, but I switched back to playing Borderlands 2 for a while instead of 3 simply because the story is so much better in 2. Then I switched back to Borderlands 3 because of the most recent hotfix, which brings up the level cap and adds back in some of the extra playable areas, including all the holiday content. This really feels like the last major thing that they're going to do for Borderlands 3, and for now, it brings back some of the playability, especially since the True Trials will be sticking around until the end of July. It's been really fun playing Borderlands 3 again for a while. I switched back to Zane, and now I'm trying out a couple of different builds on Zane. Now, this last weekend, I had been planning to show off some soldering on last Saturday's extra show, but I ended up working and didn't get the chance. I was really looking forward to it, but I guess I'll just have to try again for next weekend and see how it works out. That being said, I do need to get some solder therapy going soon and may get some done in the near future. I have some mods that I've been waiting for a while to try out, and I really want to do them, but there's always more soldering to be done, so I'll definitely have some for next Saturday. Like I was saying, I've spent the last week or so on muscle relaxers, so I really haven't gotten much done. After the first few days of not being able to focus at all on the medication, things kind of leveled out, and it's not as much of a problem. But I am trying to take things easy to allow my back to heal.
So you're just really relaxed, man.
Yeah, I'm extremely mellow.
All
It's been quite
right.
fun between
All
the
right, all
muscle
right.
relaxers and the heavy duty anti-inflammatories that they have me on. I've been pretty mellow. So little to no bike riding. I'm only doing seated leg days when I have leg days, and those have been few and far between. I have done some upper back exercises, but I've stayed away from lower back entirely. I do need to find some more cardio that'll work for me for now. I have done a bit of swimming with the wife, but that's something I have to be really careful with. While it is low impact, it does use a lot of the lower back. So need to be careful. I did get down to 208 pounds, which is lower than I was planning on going, but the slower weight loss, along with maintaining my level of weight training, seems to be working well. I'm going to continue to try it out for a while. Just with this last week of not doing much in the exercise department, I'm concerned that I'm losing, well, muscle mass instead of, fat. So this leads me into looking for a good or Android and Linux compatible calorie and macro tracker. I
Hey,
want
yeah,
something.
I know one. There's the Apple Fit on the Apple Watch.
Yeah, like I said, Android.
Hey, do we know that the Apple Watch doesn't work with Android?
Does it matter? It doesn't
I
work
don't
as
know.
well with Android.
I have
It's
no idea,
designed to
man.
not work as well with Android.
I have no idea. We were talking about the Apple Watch last time because of the diabetes conversation we were having toward the end. And
Yeah.
I think
I mean, if it has that stuff, man, I can't hold out. I have to.
I think we need to make a Hackintosh on a phone.
Okay.
That actually sounds like fun. Okay, but I want something simple that allows me to enter in all the numbers myself without having to spend an hour searching for a particular ingredient or a particular brand to make sure that the macros are just right. And I want it to be able to do it on my phone and have it automatically come up on my PC. I would like the same when it comes to exercise tracking, but I don't think that I will find that one either, especially one that I like. Samsung has some good ones that work on the phone, but you can't get any of that information over to your PC. At least not any way that I found that isn't like a giant hack. I've been using standard notes to track my calories, but just calories. I should probably start tracking fat and protein as well to make sure that I'm getting enough, because if you don't get enough fats in your diet, then that will really mess with your body chemistry. And proteins, obvious reasons. They take longer to digest. They help build muscle, et cetera, et cetera.
Did you look into any websites that would do that so you could get them on your phone and your computer?
I've
That way?
looked. I didn't see anything that I liked though. And websites, if it were self-hosted, I'd be more interested, as
Right. Yeah.
opposed to needing to log in
Yeah.
to their stuff and
I
provide them a
got
whole
it.
bunch of information.
Set up Bitwarden, but only use the notes feature.
Hmm.
Ah,
Yeah,
there you go.
and I
And it's
was looking,
encrypted.
and like I could do like something like an Excel document or something like that, um, with enough practice. But the standard notes, I'm just not getting enough information into it quickly and easily.
Yeah. Do you
So
want something that has like each like calories and fat and all that stuff already there, and you can just put in the numbers?
yeah. And I
Yeah.
don't,
That's
like I said,
gonna
I
be hard to
don't want to
find.
have to search for ingredients. I don't want to have to search for other people's recipes because I'm mostly cooking my own foods. And you do a small variation on someone else's recipe and it completely changes the macros, and then it's kind of pointless to use what's in their tracker. Oh, and that's really what's been going on in my neck of the woods. A whole lot of
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Tony, what have you been up to?
Better switch my mic on, haven't I?
Yeah.
No, I was just doing some research for talking about something later. So this week I installed the 5.11.x kernel on my tower. But I've got a very old NVIDIA card, and when the 5.11 kernel doesn't seem to like it because I had to
Aw.
revert back to the open source driver. So for me, it's not a major issue. I don't game. The card itself's only got 256 mega RAM, so it's nothing outstanding. But it was I was using the NVIDIA driver that was available because I thought, why not?
So does
But
it work perfectly fine with the open source driver?
yeah, no, I've used it on the open source driver
Mhm.
until in the past when the kernel didn't have a suitable driver.
Right.
So yeah, but when the driver works, I change over to that. But at the moment, it's not working. So like I say, not a major issue for me. But if anyone else is having issues, it could be that the kernel doesn't support your NVIDIA card driver.
Yeah.
I know
'cause
you having problems with that, aren't you, Leo?
Not my NVIDIA card. I avoid NVIDIA at all costs because of that kind of stuff. Because of that exact situation right there. Most of the cards, by the time I get my hands on them, especially right now, are going to be supported in Mesa. So it'll just boot up and work.
Right. So anyway, if you're listening to this, I'm using my portable studio because we're on holiday or vacation for you US types at Woodbrook, which I've been here before and recorded the show from here before on this very machine. But we're going to be talking about portable systems later, so I shall talk more of that in a while. And I've also been playing with Endeavour OS. I installed it on my Toshiba Z30 ages back to try it out. And every so often I flash it up and I check to see if doing the updates will break it. And I haven't managed to break it yet. And I flashed it up. It was about a month ago that I'd last done the updates, and I flashed it up this time, and it eventually updated. I think it lost the internet because it went into hibernation. So the first update trial failed, but at second attempt it worked. And
Do you use the latest kernel or do you use the LTS?
what on Endeavour?
Yeah.
It's given me 512
Okay.
dot 13, so
That's
the
the current.
latest. Yeah, that's current. So
I was just curious because if you use the LTS kernel, then you might have an even better time as long as you don't need the extra kernel, because it won't change until the next whenever they decide the kernel is going to need to be updated for the LTS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, that's
like I say, I've been doing the updates every 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks, and I'm not having an
Right.
issue with it.
Well, if you have an issue, I was just giving you a suggestion. If you do
Yeah.
have an issue, then you can just go to that and you can stick on that for as long as you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 2 years, I think, and then 5.10. So there was that whole controversy with
Yeah.
Great KH saying, "Hey, if y'all want more support, help." And then a lot of people did actually stand up, and a lot of companies decided to start helping out with that. So it looks like we're going to get 4 or 6 years, something like 4 or 5 years
Something like
out
that,
of
yeah.
out of kernel
Mm.
5.10. So live on 5.10. That's what Debian's on. Yeah, you'll be good for the life of Debian at least.
Yeah, well, we all know Debian's about 4 years behind the time. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I continue. So, like I say, I've been playing with Endeavour today, and I managed to work out how to get Snapd installed. I tried it a couple of ways, and it didn't work. So I went on the old interwebs and had a look around, and the instructions are on the Snapcraft site. I've put a link in the show
Yep.
notes. And I ended up having to copy and paste commands into the terminal. Oh, slap wrist! But I knew what the commands were doing. It was just downloading the source code from Git and then doing the make of the file and installing it. And,
Oh Lord! So you had to build it from scratch. Oh
yeah. There's
there
you have to CD into the Snapd folder, and then it does.
Oh, wow.
It compiles it all.
I see. So was
Could-
there
could
not
you-
a? You're talking about on Endeavor, right?
Yeah.
And is it not in the AUR?
I was just going to ask.
Well, it seems to be in the AUR, but it doesn't install it. It fails. The install
Oh.
fails.
Wait a minute. The glorious AUR failed?
Yeah. I
What?
tried it. I tried it a couple of times. So that's when I ended up going to the Snapcraft site and doing it their way, and it worked perfectly, no problem at all. And then after I did that, I tested it, and it was working. So I was able to install Get iPlayer, and I've also installed the Snapcraft store.
Nice.
So I've got that installed, so I can go and search for snaps if I want to.
Yeah. Well, we have some I'm a Flatpak person, but we have some feedback on that to the contrary a little later.
Yeah. So I quite like snaps occasionally.
Well, especially with the Get iPlayer, right? There's no other way to get it.
There's there is in Deb. I don't know whether there's any other way to get it in
Arch.
Arch.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not available even in the AUR as far as I can see in Arch.
Again? The
Man,
AUR
2
failed
fails
you
for the
again?
AUR in one day.
No.
Yeah.
This is
So yes, Snap is the only way that you can get it in Arch as far as I can see. I might be wrong. Someone could write in and correct me, but I haven't found any other way to do it.
It's probably got some obscure name. You just can't find it.
Probably has. But I am starting to get more and more impressed with Endeavour and Arch in general. So I'll probably keep it on this little laptop because I tell you what, it runs so sweet. The battery life on that little machine is really good. So
cool.
I'm quite impressed.
What
So
desktop do you use with that?
I've got the Mate desktop installed. Yeah. I did the net install and chose Mate as the.
That's nice about Endeavor is you can choose what you want.
Yeah, if you do the netting, if you download the ISO, there's a limited number that you can get.
Yeah.
But if you do the net install, you can choose virtually any desktop environment you want. You can even use a what do you call it?
Hey, Tony, someone in the chat just recommended that you try Pure Arch.
I did try that once, and it was a total fail for me.
Oh no.
So I'll stick to the easy way. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The new installer script has just installed an easy button for Arch now. I've been itching to try it. I just haven't done it yet. I feel like it'll be kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I might give that a go. But
Yeah.
Endeavour works. So
Right. I mean, it is pure Arch. Endeavor is pure Arch with a few scripts off to the side that help you keep everything up to date and break
Yeah.
less. So I mean, Endeavor is probably about as close to Arch as you're going to get without being actual Arch.
just as a side issue, one of the things I do like is when you start it up, if you leave it active, the welcome screen comes up, and there's a button right in front of you. You can just check for updates as soon as you start it. You don't have to wait until something pops up and says there's updates available.
Right.
Does it
Every
make you
10
aware?
minutes.
What was that?
Every 10 minutes. It's Arch.
Yeah, if there's it will tell you if there's updates available. But every time you start it up, if you press that button and if there's anything available, it'll just install them when you first boot up.
Does it tell you to reboot if you have like a kernel update or stuff like that, like Mint does?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
It recognizes if anything needs a reboot to activate it.
Yeah, that's something that every distro should do, because a lot of times people just update and they think, oh, we're good, and then they don't reboot, and then you don't got the new stuff.
Mint does that. Mint
Yep.
does that.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, Mint's been doing that for quite a while.
Wait, what now? What they're doing? What?
When you install new kernels on Mint or new kernel modules that need a reboot to activate, it tells you reboot required.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, and that's awesome.
Yeah. So Josh is just saying that not every distro does that. So it's something that other distros could learn from.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So as well as Linuxy stuff, I've been playing around with my model cars and spending money, as you do. I bought some parts a couple of weeks ago to make replacement axles and some small 1/16 tubing and some head pins that were supposed to slot into the tube hole, but the head pins were a bit too big. They were about 0.1 of a millimeter too large on the diameter. So I complained to the company, but they continue to insist that they're all the right size. And I ordered some from a totally separate company, and they were exactly the same. So I'm assuming the way they measure them and the way I measure them are two totally different ways.
Yeah. How weird is that?
Pardon?
Just musing how weird that is.
Yeah. So, but I did come up with a fix. I stuck one of the pins in a small pin vise, stuck the pin vise in my little hand drill, and then and kind of lathed it off with a little modelling file.
Oh, yeah.
I only need the 10 mil end with the head on it to go into the tube, because I glue it in and then glue another one in at the other end once it's on the model. So that works great. So it adds a couple of minutes per pin onto the restoration of the model, but it's nothing that's a killer. So yeah, I can use them. So I was quite chuffed about that. And I continue to bake. I've been making cheese scones, or cheese biscuits as you would call them, Leo. Over here, and I've been baking me loaves. I even baked a loaf here at Woodbrook yesterday when we got it, because I was running out. And I do like my own homemade bread.
Right.
Yeah, you guys watched me cook yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We watched you meal prep for the week.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do like a cooking version of this in the innards, man. We're gonna have to, because we're
gonna have to do a
way too
recipe
much.
share.
Yeah, we talk about food way too much.
I'll post a link to my recipe blog. I've got a recipe blog on Blogger.
That will work.
Those burritos turned out incredible.
Did they?
Yeah, they're really good. I had some right before the show.
Was that
Oh,
the
that's what
chicken
that smell is.
or the turkey mince?
Oh, that was the turkey,
Turkey.
the ground turkey.
Yeah. Yeah, we call that mince. You call it ground.
Yep.
Okay, well, so that's me for this fortnight, and we've got no mic, so I suppose it's over to the news.
Yeah. So this time in the news, Linux Mint 20.2 beta is out. Are y'all ready? Have y'all tested it yet?
I installed it in boxes last night on the Endeavour box.
Oh, see, I should have done this. I have not done this yet. I feel so out of it. I don't know why I didn't do this, but yeah. So, was it amazing?
Well, I didn't play with it for long. I did manage to burn an ISO to a little USB stick and boot it on the same machine off the stick. It's the cinnamon version, so it's not the normal one that I use. The link you gave me was the cinnamon one.
Oh,
And
got it.
I
Yeah.
normally use Mate, so I might go hunting for the Mate ISO, which I'm assuming that's a link to it in the show notes.
Well, it's yeah. These are the links to the main post, and then I think at the bottom, yeah, at the very bottom you get the download link. So I gave you the EvoWise CDN. That seems fast enough. But that's the deal. Go grab that one.
Right, I'll check that out at some stage.
Yep.
But yeah, so far it works. That's all I can say at the moment. I managed to install it in boxes. It worked.
I figure that I'll actually give it a shot, probably tonight or something like that. But I don't know if it's going to be worth anything to give our experiences on it next episode, because I suspect next episode it'll be released. So we'll be talking about the actual release itself. But I guess one of the good things we could kind of cover is what got fixed between the beta and the release. So if anybody was holding out for trying out the beta or something like that because of one of those things, then maybe we can report on that.
I think it's probably going to be more paper cuts and loads of new stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It depends on if you consider a huge version number increment of cinnamon huge.
Oh well, yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, Mate and XFCE kind of do their own things, and they just are what they are when they are. But I think, well, see, I don't know. I guess Cinnamon kind of does too, right? Because I mean, you would expect Cinnamon 5 to be on Linux Mint 21 or some whole number instead of one of the dot numbers. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's
But if they thought it, because Mint are part of the development for Cinnamon, aren't they? So if they thought it was good to go, why not?
Right? Yeah, I think it's just they always have that it's ready when it's ready kind of attitude. So, and that's fine with me. I dig that. And it's ready in 20.2. So yay.
Yeah.
We get to play with it then. So we can take a look at some of the new stuff that's coming out. So we've covered little bits of these on each of the monthly newses that come out from Clem. But one of my favorite things though is that spices are now going to be part of the update manager now. So if this really got to me, every time a spice broke for some reason because it was an update or something and it broke, I would go into the spices manager or whatever it was, like the applets or the desklets or the extensions, and the first thing it would ask me was, "Hey, everything's out of date. You want to update it?" Well, yeah, I don't even want you to ask me that question. Of course I do. So this is now one of those things where if you just run all your updates, all of that stuff is going to happen in the background anyway. So yeah, it won't bother me anymore. Yay. So that's going to be something really cool. And it'll restart Cinnamon if that particular applet needs it during the update or something like that. So everything will kind of take care of itself, which is really good.
Do we know why it wasn't part of the general updates in the first place?
They were just two totally separate programs before. And they put in the work to actually make them all one. So the apps, to get to extensions and install them, you'll still do that the same way. But updating them is now seamless. So I love that. The notifications as well. There's going to be more details in the notification about update notifications that will have more info. So you'll see what are security, what are software updates, and it'll give you the option. And I think this is fantastic to enable the automatic updates. So for those of you that have thought, oh, Microsoft did a pretty good thing by enabling these automatic updates, and I really enjoy that all of it happens seamlessly behind the scenes, and I never have to think about it ever again, right? This is the button for you. So press that button, and it'll take care of it all by itself.
I think for a lot of people, that's a good thing.
It's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, I've got no problem with automatic updates as long as it doesn't reboot your system without asking you whether it's okay to reboot your system.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
that was the problem with Windows, was it was rebooting your system and you'd say, you were in the middle of something.
Right.
Right.
And instead,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
it should do is come up with a screen that says, to apply these updates, you need to reboot instead of doing it by itself, So
do
next
you
time you
wanna
log
do it-
on, you're like, oh, hey, I should probably reboot.
Yeah. But
Right.
I've got to be fair to Windows these days. It does ask you if it's okay to reboot now or do you want to leave it until later.
Well, even back then, you really had to abuse Windows for it to reboot on you. You really had to let those updates go for a while. And it was the cumulative ones. Those come out once a month. So if you got caught
Once a week now.
No, well, I mean, sure, some of the little ones, the egregious stuff, but I mean, those cumulative updates will come out on an update Tuesday or something like that. Those are really the only ones that would force would require you to update.
Oh,
And
ones
you
that will
have
require
to-
you, yeah.
You have to have let that thing dangle on for a couple of months for it to actually make you do that. So I mean, not necessarily that it's just good to reboot people's computers, but I mean, you
So
haven't
happy that
rebooted
Windows
in 2
10 is
months?
supposed to be the last iteration.
Okay, so
Oh, you know
I
what's
had-
funny about that? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Leo.
No, I think you're about to say what I'm about to say.
Yeah, no, I was listening to Windows Weekly, and they actually said that nobody actually said that officially from Microsoft that was going to be the last one. They said that somebody, I forget who it is, but somebody
was a
from
dev.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that it was going to be the last one, but he didn't mean it in that way. He meant it was, I forget exactly how they explained it, but he meant it in a different way than like the last, like Windows 10 was going to be the only one. It's just
Right.
going to go on from there. But yeah,
Yep.
it was. I was like, wow, that's that's interesting.
Yeah, and the whole furor over, oh my god, it looks like KDE Plasma.
Oh my gosh, I know.
What? Yeah, and it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Plasma guys have a real eye for what looks good by default, and I mean, I think Windows, the Windows group has that same eye. I just think things happen to cross at this
Anyway,
particular
we're
moment.
supposed to be talking about Mint.
Fine. Hey, but Mint is a pretty big competitor to Windows. I think a lot of people get
Yeah.
recommended Mint when they're coming over because Windows rebooted one time on me and I didn't tell it to, right?
Oh, well, when
But-
they realise they've got to have a Microsoft account to run Windows 11, more of them might come over.
Oh, and Secure Boot and TPM 1.3 and yeah.
All that hardware that won't work with the Windows 11 that's only 5 years old.
Oh, shucks. They're going to have to install something else, and they
Oh,
can't
so
install
what a
Mac
shame.
OS.
Tony,
Guess
weren't
I'm
you
gonna
just
have to
saying a
pay 'em.
second ago that we're supposed to be talking about Mint?
Yeah.
Oh, we are. We're talking about Linux. The fact that
Exactly.
the people are going to be coming
Well,
over.
we're talking about Linux not being Windows.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fine. I mean, if you're on one of the big distros, one of the major distros like Ubuntu, which, by extension, Linux Mint, Elementary OS, Pop OS, they're going to have those signed kernels and everything because you have to have Secure Boot on. And Secure Boot won't boot your Linux machine unless it's got a signed kernel. So, and everything else. So you've got to be careful when you're actually doing things. If you're bringing in kernel modules and just and compiling all that stuff into the kernel, it's not going to boot in Secure Boot. So you've got to be very careful now that if you're going to be running it alongside Windows 11, you've got to be careful with the way that it works. Ooh, Nishan says it doesn't support Secure Boot. I'm going to have to drop it. That's not good. Huh.
Wait, what
And I
doesn't
guess that-
support it?
Even
Pop OS, and that makes a lot of sense because
Oh.
they're on a different kernel. They're not
yeah,
on the Ubuntu
yeah.
kernel.
No.
well, even when Windows 11 comes out, Windows 10 is still going to be supported for probably a long time. So
Yeah.
a lot of your older hardware that can't run
2025.
Windows 11 We'll still be running Windows 10.
Yeah.
2025. And if it's anything like Windows XP, they'll be running it well into 2030 as well. So
Yeah, but
it's not
yeah.
like
But Joe Blogs in the street will say, Windows 11's come out. Oh, my PC's not compatible. Let's go out and buy a new PC. So there's going to be...
that'll be perfect for me,
That's the push.
because
Yeah,
the
the
used market, the prices will drop through the floor. I'll buy a whole bunch of hardware to play around with, and it'll all be running Linux.
That's gone through my little head as well.
Yep, and it sounds like it's going to be a free upgrade as well. I mean, new installs or whatever will be, you'll have to purchase that. But if you've got a machine that already had Windows 10, you'll be able to go to Windows 11, as long as you meet the 17 bullet points that they have levied against you. But it'll be good.
What is it like?
Or you
an
just install
an
Linux
8th gen Intel and newer or something like that?
It seems
Yeah.
like I think the first gen Ryzen's are not like capable, and that's not good.
Oh, they're
I have a
capable.
Well, right. Well, okay. So I've been seeing a lot of posts that you can actually just circumvent the whole checker and just force it to install anyway. But here's one of the things: like you're going to have to continuously maintain that, because Windows 11 will literally roll you back if any of those things stops working after the fact. So
Now,
you've got to actually maintain this. It's real interesting the way that they're dealing with this.
we're also still extremely early in the life cycle of Windows 11. I mean,
True.
people are just hearing about it now.
Yeah, we're not even
despite
in the life
fact that
cycle,
the-
really.
Yeah.
the announcement's coming up. So who knows if they're going to add more backwards compatibility to the kernel.
Depends on how many people complain.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
everybody's
I
gonna
don't know,
complain.
man.
Yeah.
They when they decide on things, they tend to forge ahead with them. I mean, the Windows 10, they didn't stop any of the automatic updating, and look how much complaining people are still complaining about it. So
Yeah, but do you think Windows 8 would still be around if people didn't complain? Do you think it would have went down that same path and kept going with how it was?
oh, I think they would have refined it regardless of if people complained. I mean, because
Okay.
we have more options now than we used to. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, of course. I think they take into account the complaints and maybe try to kind of smooth that over, but they're not going to 180 on anything, I doubt. I really doubt that, because the reason the TPM thing is on the list is a good one, because everybody in the security sector was like, guys, we have to be more secure. And then Windows was like, okay. And that's it. Like, they decided that full disk encryption is a good thing, and people are horrible at keeping up with those keys. So let TPM handle that, and then do full disk encryption, and then everybody wins. Security guys love it. You got people that don't understand it, don't need to understand it. It just works, right? So long as they have the hardware that supports it, and everybody wins.
Yeah,
Except
the
for-
enterprise really loves it because they don't have to worry about people having to maintain all this crap.
I mean, think about like places where I work, or at banks, or any place like that have federal regulations over what they do. Then TPM is a total win for them, because they don't even have to mandate it anymore. They just say, "All right, we're going to Windows 11," and it's already baked in. It's pre-mandated. They don't have to even think about it. So I don't know. In that way, it's good, but it's going to be a lot of pain. It's going to be a lot of pain.
But some of these big companies that have got hundreds, if not thousands, of desktop machines and stuff like that, if they suddenly realise they're going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to replace hardware, they might start changing the tune a bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
nobody big, no huge enterprises are going to just hop on Windows 11, even if it releases
Oh, no.
today.
I
They'll do that.
highly doubt anyone will, really.
The bulk of them will do it in 2025 when Windows 10 is no longer supported, and then the rest of them will do it in 2028 when they have absolutely no choice.
Yeah, and
After they paid $2,000 or more to keep it going per install.
Yeah, and the 4 or 5 year hardware cycle will they'll probably already have their hardware that works by then anyway.
Yeah.
Or
All right.
just get Ubuntu and keep moving on with the 10-year cycle.
Yeah, and if you want to drop a bunch of money on that, you can, and they'll support you and all that kind of good stuff. But all right, so we got to hit this because we've been talking about Windows for way too long, which is fine because I dig the Windows 11 topic. I'll guarantee it. I'll bring it up again. Anyway, but so with the automatic updates in Linux Mint, you can kind of control what exactly updates. Now, one of the coolest things I think, I saw a comment in YouTube where you can't control it. You kind of can. You can, yeah, you're right. I mean, you can't pre-select, I guess, what you want, but what you can do is blacklist everything else. So if you want the newest Mesa and the newest kernel or something like that, then, you know, blacklist everything else but those things. So it is an option. It's not exactly what we're talking about, but I mean, it'll do the job. But if you just don't ever want to think about it and just want to reboot every couple of weeks or something like that just to stay current, then setting up the automatic updates in Linux Mint is going to be fantastic. So good stuff. Now, what I didn't see, yes, yes, okay. So a couple of months ago, Clem was saying that they were going to, no hard date on it, add in Flatpak updates into the update manager as well, right? Because one of the pain points of Snap we talked about a little while ago was that Snap will just update behind you, where you didn't even know it. It just kind of did it. You didn't say to or anything like that, and it just updated. Well, Mint kind of did that. It had a startup application that updated all of your Flatpaks on boot. So that was good to keep you up to date on all the other software that you had installed. But now that has been removed. It's not on boot anymore. It's just in the update manager. So now everything, all of the apps native that are in Linux Mint are just handled in the update manager, as it should be, right? I mean, as it should be. I feel like everything should have been in there. I'm glad that it is now. That's just a fantastic thing. And you can decide if you want to update. There's a toggle for both Spices and Flatpak updates. You can just turn them off because, like we were talking about with Snaps, if you don't want them to update, they don't have to. You can turn them off and then go update them individually if you want to kind of, micromanage all of those things. So good stuff, man. I mean, because Audacity is one of those where once I get on a version, don't touch it. Like, don't touch it at all because I want to know that it's going to work every single time I launch it, and I don't want to have to run into any new bugs that were brought in by this particular new version or something like that. So just don't touch it. So if I were to do Audacity and Flatpak, I would probably turn that off and micromanage Audacity itself. Anyway, bulk file renamer. For those of you that hate regex, though you can do regex in this renamer, it's a GUI renamer for multiple files. So if you have a bunch of files that need to be renamed in a certain way, like this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, or if you just want to do any other kind of bulk renaming, this app will get that done for you. And that's going to be baked into 20.2, and you'll get it once you upgrade from 20.1 to 20.2. And if not, I mean, I think it's just called bulk file renamer, so you can just install that. And sticky notes. If you were a fan of the old Windows 7 sticky notes, that's what this is. This is exactly that. And there's a nice, cool overview on that as well. So you can, whereas on Windows 7, you just had the sticky notes. They were just kind of wherever you put them. You couldn't really store them anywhere else. This does give you that broad overview to show you all of your notes as well. So that's kind of nice. I really did end up using a lot of those sticky notes on Windows 7. So I might end up doing it a whole lot as well. But one of the cool things is that it's got a couple of modes. I think you can set up more than this amount of nodes. I think you can set up as many as you want. So you can have, if you use the same desktop or laptop for, a bunch of different stuff, you can toggle between the sets of notes that you have up on your desktop. So that is awesome as well. Warpinator. Yeah. So there were a couple of changes to Warpinator. One of the big ones that I think everybody's going to get anyway, regardless of if 20.2 or not, is that Warpinator now supports, if you have multiple network cards, you can decide which network card Warpinator pays attention to. All of them or one of them or two of them. And then there's also an Android app. Not by the Mint folks. I can't remember who it was from. But, there's a link to it. So SlowScript has an Warpinator app out there for Android, just in case you're pushing files to and from everywhere. An iOS version is whispered to exist, but open source software doesn't do really well on the Apple Store. You got to do some funkiness with it. So I don't know. That will likely come one of these days, but that day ain't today because I've never heard of one. But anyway, what else we got? Cinnamon 5.0. That's the big thing. Honestly, it looked like improvements to me. It wasn't. You're not going to notice if you just look at it. It's going to be the same. So I think that's a really good thing. But Nemo 5.0 comes out with Cinnamon 5.0, and there is a content search. I think that's my favorite thing about this is that no longer will the search just search file names. It'll search the text inside those files as well. So that is really nice, especially if you're looking for that one file that you forgot what you named it. Yeah, you just remembered you dumped a bunch of recipes in it, right? So you could just search for flour, and you'll probably find it, right? That's kind of the idea behind a lot of that. And so some of these changes are a little funny because I think what they're trying to do is learn why Cinnamon is breaking, and in the interim, fix it for you. So what's going on is that there are a couple of memory leaks in Cinnamon that will just your memory will just pew and use way too much. So what ended up happening is they added a feature to Cinnamon that will allow you to set a maximum limit on memory. And when it reaches that maximum limit, Cinnamon, the whole desktop, when it reaches that maximum limit, it will restart Cinnamon for you. So Cinnamon will kind of flash. None of your apps will go away. Everything will stay saved, everything like that. It's just the desktop. But it will flash for a second, and it'll come back, and everything will be like it was. But what's really happening is they're killing Cinnamon and restarting Cinnamon and putting everything back.
That seems like a good way to get stuck in a loop.
Right. So, yeah, in a case like that, yeah, hard reboot's all you can do. But in the opposite case, without that, I mean, you would already be in that situation because it would be a runaway memory leak and your computer would run really slow and you would end up rebooting it anyway. So I think this is a good stopgap measure. But what I think they're trying to do is once that happens, there will be information that you can opt in to send them that will help them figure this out and actually fix it once and for all instead of using a Band-Aid like this where it'll reboot you when it needs or restart Cinnamon when it needs. And then a new CLI and Python 3 module dedicated to Spice updates. Hooray! So it's written, the new command line utility is called Cinnamon Spice Updater. It lists available updates and is able to apply them. So if you want to handle your Cinnamon Spice updates in the command line, you can do that too. So it's not just the update manager. And this is kind of how apt happened, and this is kind of how pretty much everything else happened, I guess. But anyway, lots of other improvements, tons of stuff. I won't bore you with the rest of it. Go take a look. There's some links in the show notes. Go take a look at all of that. What I did want to see is if there was anything special in the Mate version. We were talking about that a second ago with Tony, and I wanted to see what's new. And it's probably all the same. Look at that. Same. Yeah. So, yeah. It's going to be Mate 1.24, which I think is what it was. So, yeah. Seems like they're getting all of that same junk we've been talking about this entire time. And Mate is just Mate, so it's Mate. So not a whole lot of changes, but you'll get the new stuff, the new updatey and all that. So, yeah. They all look pretty good, I think. So next up, Rocky Linux 8.4. So if you were one of the refugees, or if you were becoming a refugee from CentOS Stream, that's not going to work for you. The second group has finally come up. Rocky Linux was the first to announce they were going to do this. Alma Linux was the second group that announced that they were going to do this, but they were first to market. So Alma Linux has been out for a month or two now, 8.4, and Rocky Linux earlier last week finally did their release. So this is just really good stuff. I'm excited for this. We're gonna find out. I'm curious to know which one's going to win. So back in the day, there were a bunch, right? There was CentOS, there was Scientific Linux, there was there were a couple more. And Scientific Linux had a good following in the scientific community, but CentOS really just ate everybody's lunch. And then once CentOS got brought up by or bought up by Red Hat, then I think nobody was really worried. I don't think at that time there was a lot of speculation, and then the inevitable happened, and these groups shot up. So Alma and Rocky, and I know there's another one out there. I can't remember its name at the moment, but I think it's good. We're going to see where the community flows. I feel like Rocky is going to be where everybody flows because that was the grassroots thing that sprung up right after the announcements, and it was one of the original CentOS folks that started the Rocky Linux thing in the first place. So I assume it'll be Rocky Linux. Do y'all have any idea? Do you have any guesses as to which one is going to quote unquote win?
No.
Yeah, not really, because it's still like too early. You gotta wait a little while before when they've been out.
No, this
Like
is why you
Rocky
gotta
literally just came out.
No, you got to make uneducated guesses.
All right, so
and
blow
This
caution to the
is-
wind and freaking
Yeah.
just
This
guess.
is not January. No.
No, we got it. Joe, which one's gonna win, Alma or Rocky?
Alma.
Yeah, Josh.
I want to say Rocky,
Uh-huh.
but I think I'm going to go with Alma just because they were first to market and they
Ooh.
seem like they got their stuff together. I mean, they have extra stuff
They
on
do.
top of what they're doing to improve CentOS. So that's what I'm
They
saying.
do. Tony?
Do I care?
No, I assume you do not. Which is why you should make an uneducated guess, and it doesn't matter if you're wrong.
Well, I'll go with Rocky because
Yes.
that's
The winner
that's the
is gonna
guy
be
who originally
CentOS.
set it up.
Yeah.
Yes, the winner is CentOS. I agree with that.
Yeah. I think Rocky too, but there's some trouble at well, not really trouble even. So Alma Linux, the way that they got set up was a 501(c) nonprofit, right? I mean, which is what you expect from a lot of open source groups and things like that, especially when you're dealing with enterprise stuff. So you can kind of give that impression that you're not going to be beholden to corporate interests or money, right? And Rocky Linux went the other way with that. They're a private company, essentially. Class B, something or another. I can't remember what I read, but they're a more private company. A company owns the names and trademarks and everything else. Not that would really influence anything, but I feel like the word, private is I don't know, makes you scratch your head just a little bit. But honestly, I still think Rocky's going to win, just because they were the true grassroots. But I guess time will tell, as Josh says. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, Elementary OS 6, Odin Beta 2. So another beta. Yeah. So Elementary OS 6 Beta 2. I think a lot of it still looks the same. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have a real question. Look at this. Look at that little. Does Elementary OS still maintain that they are not a, and I don't want to say copy because copy is too much.
Reimplementation.
Right. I mean, how far away from Mac OS are they trying to be? Because they have an animation of their installer as it's going across. It has that little flow thing that Mac created back in like OS X Tiger. And
Yeah,
So-
you're right.
is it? I don't know. I mean, honestly, regardless of if it's a straight carbon copy, it doesn't matter. It still looks good. It still looks really good. I tried beta 1. I haven't tried beta 2, but in beta 1, things looked really, really nice. I mean, their font choices, I think, were top notch. I think Linux Mint might even consider a peek over the edge to see some of these font choices. It looks fantastic. Another blow to old Snapify. Elementary OS goes with Flatpak as well as Pop OS. So, yeah. Does anybody else besides Ubuntu and its flavors ship with Snap on by default?
You mean like
Those-
major distros, like not that's maintained by like one person or any?
Anything
think-
that
I
actually
think-
ships with it on. You can Snap
Right.
install something out of the box.
just
I
Ubuntu as far as I know. But
yeah.
does it really matter? I mean, considering how easy it usually is, other than with Arch, to install Snap. I mean, the first time you run across something that's only available in a Snap, or that works better in a Snap, or has a more updated version, you're going to do a simple install of Snap, and it's there.
Right.
I
And
think
it's right on
what
the
we do,
Snapcraft website, so it's easy
I
to
think what we do though, as nerds, is overestimate how much people care, like a lot. And I think people like that's the whole reason there's a thing called tyranny of the default, is because people don't care enough to change the default. So the default is what everybody uses. So if Snap is not
If
in by
you know,
default, that's not what anybody
okay,
uses.
The
if
only
that were
time
true, then Firefox would be ruling the world.
It's not default in anything except for Linux, and Linux is 1%.
Yeah.
Right. But across Linux, then Firefox would be more popular than Chrome, and I don't think that's actually the case.
No, not anywhere. But what I'm
But
getting at
Linux
is
are
that,
more nerdy people who like to mess with their systems, is what Leo's trying to say, I think.
well,
And-
it's kind of it's a little bit of both. I really don't think people care enough to actually go and install Snap unless they really have to have something that is in Snap. No, like get iPlayer, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that'll force you to go install Snap. But I mean, other than that, if they can get all the same software that they normally use, they'll not install Snap.
or
Now,
in Linux Mint if you want Chromium.
right
And
to
you're
the
going to work out how to install Snapd, aren't you? So you can go and get it.
no, because Linux Mint
Somebody
packages Chromium
repackaged it.
themselves. Yep,
Yeah,
they're
somebody repackaged it as a deb. So
yeah. So yeah, Linux Mint themselves, Clem and Co. handle that. It's good now. But the idea with the desktop thing is that, I mean, Google does rule the world. Everybody Googles. So what do you see in the top right hand corner if you're not using Google? Go get Google. It's the best browser ever. You can do whatever you want to. It's the super fastest thing. No matter if all of those are lies, it doesn't matter. I mean, they kind of are, but right? I mean, everybody sees it. Everybody does it because it's fairly easy to do. I think searching up snaps.
And if you're not using the browser, you're using the search engine.
Yeah, because if you're
Right.
installing Snap after the fact, it's not integrated into the software center. You can't just go search a Snap. Not in Linux Mint and not in really anything else. So you'd have to do it off.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Is like, is it installed or is it installed in the software center? Like, can you search it in the software center? Do you have to go to the terminal? Because I think even less people have it in the software center of their distro. Like, I can think of one, and that's Manjaro, but that's not a Ubuntu derivative.
I keep forgetting that there is a software center.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing, right? Like, we're so nerdy that we forget those things. And, you know, everybody else is just like, I click on the software center anytime I want anything, or when I'm
What's
trying to
the
do my
terminal?
updates, or yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can avoid, I mean, I think in Linux you can avoid the terminal 99.9% of the time now. So yeah, it's easy to
I do
forget.
the opposite. I avoid this software center 99.9% of the time.
You know,
Yeah,
honestly,
I never use the software center.
the switch happened for me. I'm falling in love with the GUI stuff because I can just press a button and watch it go. And Linux Mint's updater gives me enough. It gives me the same type of information that I would get from the command line. So I don't have any reason not to use it anymore. And it's never once failed me.
I've had a couple of. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I've had a couple of issues with the software center versus the terminal for installing things with dependencies. Because like when you install Wine with the software center of Mint, it doesn't install all the dependencies and you have to add things after, versus if you use apt,
you're supposed to install the Wine installer, not Wine. Because Linux Mint puts that together for you too,
Right.
just so it'll handle all that.
Okay. See, I just used the software center until I ran into this issue. I always used it before, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started having that issue, and then I installed it with apt, and I never had an issue after that. So.
Yeah, got it.
Mine is probably just a function of, long-term habit.
It is, and I'm the same way, but it's slowly chipping away at it because it's just so easy and so convenient now.
And talking about the update manager, I've had the same issue. I've run the update manager through the GUI and then ran updates through apt in the terminal, and I've still got updates to install that haven't been picked up by the GUI.
You got to refresh the GUI. That's the
I think it
deal.
took me a couple of years to switch away from apt-get and start using just
Yeah.
apt.
No, it was instant for me because it was colorful.
Hmm.
Instant. It's like, yep, colors. I want it. I'm using that forever now. This was before all the features were ported over too. Like it was, you didn't have everything. Anyway, so real quick, I mean, this is kind of what it looks like. It's what the text and everything looks like, and I think it looks fantastic, man. So as far as style, points for style, they get all the points for style. And I don't know. I guess we'll see how this beta goes. For points for speed, they get 0 points for speed. Absolutely 0. Because this is based off of 2004. And I'm not saying that they have a time limit or anything, but I mean, when your base was released more than a year ago, ooh.
You're just running out of support time at that point. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you there, though. I think, I mean, it's like they want to have everything ready on one side, and on the other side, you should be able to get it out faster. Not with everything ready, but just out faster, and then just keep adding things as it goes.
Yeah.
But like at this point, it's like you're just not wasting time, but you're just eating into that LTS time,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the stance that Linux Mint takes, right? I mean, like you get some features out the door, and then you iterate on
Right.
that. I mean, that's how we have
Right.
20 and 20.1
Again, that's why I
and
like
20.2.
Right. That's
Yeah.
why I like Linux Mint so much, because it does a lot of things right in that aspect.
All right, so we're gonna rapid fire these because we're going long again. So Jingpad OS, we talked about Jingpad a few episodes ago. We were kind of excited about it. I mean, it looked really cool. It looks like, I mean, honestly, it looks just like an iPad, but it's got Linux on it, and it's gonna be, as far as I can tell, as premium as a iPad. So the Jingpad A1, they've already rocketed past their crowdfunding goal, which was like 40 grand. Is that what we decided it was? And they're sitting at $102,000. I mean, they've more than doubled with almost 2 months to go. So I have a feeling us Linux folks want a pad of some kind, and this seems to be the promising one. So,
Well, my problem with any kind of crowd-funded tablet or crowd-funded hardware is that usually by the time it's crowd-funded and then the manufacturing process starts, because that's when they get the money to be able to do the manufacturing, and then by the time it actually ships out, the hardware is so old that it's not worth it anymore.
right. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I mean, unless you want the most powerful thing in the world,
Well,
this is gonna
okay,
last for a while.
this isn't going to be as powerful as my Dell Latitude 5390 running Linux Mint right now.
Well, also, I hope you're not compiling software or transcoding video on this thing either. I mean, it doesn't need to be, because I think what most people are going to do with it is use it for note taking, use it for screencasts and things like that. So
But
it should be
isn't the
okay.
advantage of this, it's probably going to get supported longer than Android and other tablets. And B, there's
not
probably going to be other Linux ports for it.
Directly, but
yes, but not. I really doubt it's going to outlive a lot of the Apple stuff, because the Apple stuff gets supported for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Android,
Well-
yeah, they forget about whatever they make 6 months after they make it. So totally, yes.
I think the point is like with tablets like this, with that hardware, because it's open source, because it's community driven, because it's Linux, then as long as there is an interest in it, there's going to be someone
Yeah.
developing something for the kernel for it.
Oh yeah, the
So
Nexus
it will
5 is still
continue
supported
working.
for like all of these branches of everything. It's like the base model that you need to support. So I mean, totally, absolutely. But yeah, you're getting into totally nerd tinkerer land at that point, which is fine. But Nishan mentions Ubuntu Touch as well. So that will be probably a target for Ubuntu Touch as well, as soon as they can get their hands on them. That'll be cool.
Hey, there's some kind of error on the stream.
Oh no! What does it say?
I don't know. I don't have it blown up. Hold up.
You don't have it blown.
Certificate trust error.
Oh,
Calendar contact birthdays.
I know what that is. Look at my key. All right. Well, one of y'all talk about the Firefox thing, and I'll go fix that.
Firefox thing?
Yeah.
Anybody know about Firefox 89.0.1 or 0.0.2?
Well, I think I'm on 0.2.
Well, then tell us about it.
Well, I think we talked about it the other day, didn't we? About all the icons at the top of top of your menu and stuff like that going really small and losing the graphic. Where's it gone? Just a minute.
Oh, the occasional hangs with software web renderer.
But when you go into your little hamburger menu, all the little icons next to the things have gone. So your bookmark and history and all that stuff, they're just in words now. There's no icons there.
Right.
So yeah.
All I see is in 89.0.2 I see fix occasional hangs with software web render on Linux.
Yeah, that's all I saw
that
on
was
that.
that was the big thing. So 89.0.1 fixed some performance stuff. So I imagine I already said that. But yeah, .2 was just a quick fix for Linux.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it come down yet. So, oh wait, no, just kidding. I meant to do that.
Your error's back.
Is it? Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So it's so it's Nextcloud, right? Oh yeah, it sure is. It's Nextcloud, and what is annoying? Yeah, so look, you can see me looking at it, looking at me, looking at it. But yeah, seriously. So it's just I don't know. I guess I just have to accept it. But anyway, it just keeps coming back anyway. So it's Nextcloud. I don't have a certificate signed, right? Like it's just local. Anyway,
Just move it off to the side.
I did, Joe, and then it came back. So I guess it
accept it?
tries. I did earlier before the stream, before any of this happened. Yeah, so I'm gonna go move that again, and we'll see.
It's all your fault, Leo.
It always is all my fault, man. Come on. Anyway, so yeah, so the GNOME Shell dash to panel, and I'll be right back.
GNOME Shell dash to panel version 43 released with GNOME 40 support.
Yeah, that's
I know absolutely nothing about this. Here,
I'm in the same boat as you, Joe.
Yeah, well, I actually was using Fedora for a little while for Crowbar Kernel Panic, and I was using GNOME 40, and I actually use dash to panel a lot with anything above GNOME 40, but since they updated things with GNOME 40, I don't have to use it because it works in a way that I don't have to have that. So I didn't really need it. Even when it got updated, I didn't even need to install it at all. I do have it on Ubuntu here with GNOME 3.38 because I don't like how 3.38 works. But I guess it's good for people who like it on 40. I don't see the need anymore to use it, but that's just me.
Yeah, and reading here, it supports both X11 and Wayland, which is good.
Right.
And it's similar to the dash to dock.
Yeah.
But
it basically makes your panel like Windows. It brings it down to the bottom and sets up your icons so that, or like Mint, I should say.
Yeah,
even.
It sounds a lot like Mint.
Because main Ubuntu's going over to Wayland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did y'all mention that it looks just like Linux Mint when you turn it on?
Yeah, just now.
That is hilarious to me. Look at this. Look at this.
What?
Tell me that doesn't look exactly like Linux Mint.
Let's have a
It
look.
does look like Mint.
I'm on the show notes at the moment. Just a minute.
Look here. Just check out the screen share. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yep. And if you add there's another one that adds a menu. Excuse me. A menu, and you can have Linux Mint's menu on that, so you can be basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make GNOME look like cinnamon.
Yep.
Basically.
And that's basically what I
Why-
do on everything above or everything below 40. If it's 3.38, I make it like
Why
that.
would you run GNOME at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not just run the cinnamon version?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Mate?
there's more eyes on GNOME, I guess.
There
I mean,
is,
and it's a
and-
safe default. So I totally get it. And Whoosy mentioned it's almost like Linux Mint has been doing something right all these years. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why lots of us went over to it when GNOME 3 came out, or even before that when Unity came out,
Yeah,
and
and
a bunch of
all-
went with Unity.
All these crazy things are getting updated all the time, and we
Yeah.
still hang around on Mint because it's good.
Yeah,
GNOME
worked.
just spent way too long as a super heavyweight desktop. I mean, just the resources it used was absolutely insane to the point where basically your computer was useless in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, let's move on to security update because we're going long again.
it's okay. We can blame Joe again for this one.
Oh, we will. Don't worry. So we got a couple of things in security update. Neither of them are directly Linux related, but the first one is an SSID that breaks the Wi-Fi on an iPhone. I don't know that we actually have a fix for this just yet, other than
Not yet, as far as I
Don't.
know.
yeah. So if you look on the screen, it's %P, %S, 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 %N. If you set your SSID to that and just leave it open, anybody with an iPhone that connects up to it, their Wi-Fi will be, at least for now, permanently disabled. So they got, you have, whatever your cell phone carrier's internet is. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So I think this is absolutely hilarious. Just came across my feed, and I like to laugh at these things. Because who does this? Like who figured this one out? I think that's the best part about this is someone was clever enough to put this together and then break a bunch of iPhones. Yeah, that's fun. So we'll probably see an iPhone update or something like that come down here pretty quick, fixing whatever bug caused that. And this one is a little more dire because I don't think there's a fix for all of your data is gone. So unless you have backups. And Tony reminds us that backups equals backups minus 1 because this was your backup and it's gone now. So for
Yeah.
some reason, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Leo's mantra, and I've been following it ever since you first said it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so what happened here was these Western Digital MyBook Live devices, right? I mean, they shove them like 2 or 3 discs full of drives. I mean, they can get huge, like 12, 16, 20 terabytes, right? But you connect them up to the internet so that you can access your files from anywhere. That sounds like a dream, right? I mean, that's what every NAS in the whole world is trying to accomplish anyway, right? But you're telling me that I can buy a device, just plug it into the internet and plug it into power and then just start moving files to it? I'm sold. Whoops. So what ends up happening here is, yeah, for some reason, Western Digital or some other actor has sent signals to these devices to just blank themselves. What? Why? So, I mean, we're talking these devices have been around for years. And yeah, the only way to get away from it is to disconnect it from the internet so it can't accept whatever it's accepting to be able to do this. So I don't know that we have a real answer yet. Western Digital says the incident is under active investigation. We do not have any indications of a breach compromise of Western Digital cloud services or systems. We have determined that some MyBook Live devices have been compromised by a threat actor. In some cases, this compromise has led to a factory reset that appears to erase all data on the device. The MyBook Live device received its final firmware update in 2015. So these devices are really old, and it may be some kind of malicious something that is able to knock on these things and break them. But Yeah, it's not any kind of update or anything like that. As the thing mentioned, 2015 was the last update. So unless it was something hiding in plain sight for 6 years that just decided to happen today, well, the past couple of weeks, then no, it wasn't Western Digital's direct fault, as in they didn't do it on purpose, but it may very well be a flaw that
Hey,
these
no, if it deletes like people's heart or deletes people's files without them, providing the permission, then yeah, that's a major problem.
Well, right, but what do a lot of these always boil down to?
It's still their fault.
Someone had a crappy password. Someone used password 1, and then they're like, "Oh no, my data's gone." Yeah, they probably
It's
just
still
stole what they
WD's
wanted
fault.
and deleted the rest.
But why would you have a kind of MyCloud storage system if you didn't have an offline backup as well?
Exactly.
Well, because people see this as the backup, and I mean,
Yeah, because it's easy.
Well,
Yeah,
like
but
Leo
it-
was
but
saying
it-
earlier, people are lazy.
yeah,
But it isn't a backup. This is an easy way to access all your files that you've got stored at home when you're out and about.
Mhm.
That is not a backup situation. You wouldn't have a MyCloud
If it's
system
the
set
only
up
place that it's
that was-
stored, then it's not a backup.
No,
right.
it isn't.
Well, people don't even think about backups in the first place, so that's just a whole nother can of worms.
Right. I mean, I really feel like you'll kind of consider that. Oh yeah, well I have a copy on my laptop, and then I'll put a copy on the MyBook thing or whatever, and then
Right.
I mean I think that constitutes a backup, and it does work for most people all the time.
And then your laptop died 2 years ago, and you changed it, and you forgot to transfer all the
Right.
data over.
So
or
there's only one
whatever.
copy. Yeah,
So you've only got
Yeah.
one copy of some of the data.
exactly. So yeah, absolutely. But it's just a shame. Uh, anybody that owns one of these things, man, unplug it from the wall. From the network.
This is why I make my
anyway.
own NAS, and I just SSH into it when I need to.
Yeah, don't worry. There'll be a flaw for that one too.
Yeah, well,
Oh, bad.
at least
My
someone
NAS
can't randomly update this firmware to delete my
True.
data.
Well, unless you have really horrible SSH passwords, right?
True.
or direct hardware access.
Yeah. Well, see, I would have been affected by the Ubuntu sudo thing if anybody had direct hardware access, so that would be bad.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, yeah. So keep an eye. Don't connect up to random weird Wi-Fi things on your iPhone, and unplug your Western Digital MyBook Live from the internet. Those are the takeaways for today. Anyway, we'll move on to the Linux Innards. So in the innards, I have to answer a question real quick because it said, Whoosy mentioned SSH password. Don't you mean passworded key? Yeah, if you're not lazy, if you actually go through the steps and use keys instead, absolutely, I recommend that. That is totally the way that you should do it.
All the time.
But not everybody does.
Well, I set up mine, but I'll only use them for internal networks.
Yeah.
Externally, I'm going to use a password.
Yeah. All right. So we've been talking a little bit about how would you deal with it. See, now that everybody, okay, I say that, but now that some things are becoming a lot more personal, you're able to go out a little more often, unless you're reading the news, in which case you're not. But let's say that you are, and let's say that you're like Tony, and you go down the road a bit, and you're not in Studio A anymore. How do you handle this thing? How do you handle the show, right?
Correct. So, this came out of a conversation because we couldn't think of a topic anyway for today's show for the
Of course.
innards. So I just blithely said, well, I'm going to be out and about. Why not talk about my portable setup and talk about what other people think? So, yeah, so for me, I'm, as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm on holiday at the moment, and I'm 140 miles away from home. So I brought my, I brought several laptops with me, but the one I'm recording on at the moment is my Dell E6540. It's go on.
You're 2 hours from the house.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I would be if I could drive, but I'm not in my car, and at the moment, I'm avoiding long distance driving, so I'm stuck here.
Yep.
Anyway, so so as I said at the top of the show as well, I have used this rig when I've been at Woodbrook and elsewhere, and we've needed to record. It's been podcast weekend, and I've joined the show from my portable setup. So the hardware I'm using is a Dell E6540. It's a 15.4-inch laptop with a 4th generation Intel Core i5. And I've put a link in the show notes to the CPU, which is around 6-7 years old. I think it came out in quarter 1 of 2014, so that
So
make it
what you're
7
saying is it's not going to run Windows 11.
It's not going to run Windows 11, but it runs Mint 20.2 very well, in fact.
Yeah. All right.
Very well. And initially it had 8 gig of RAM, but I've upgraded it to 16, and I've put a 128 gig SSD in it. The headset I use is just a cheap gaming stroke whatever headset with a microphone on it, which I feed through a cheap Chinese USB sound card because it's only got the one combined audio jack. So, and that's working well and has done every time I've used it. And it's got its own integrated webcam, so now we're using Discord video calls to record the show and feed into the live feed. That's what we need these days. We need a video camera. So that's what I'm using at the moment hardware-wise. Software, exactly what we run the show on now when I'm on my main box. So that's I'm running the Discord app to connect to the live chat part of the show. I've got Audacity recording in the background to record my audio track. I'm currently using 2.3.3 because for some reason I have got 3.02 installed on the desktop at home, but when I try and run that in conjunction with Discord, it seems to have a negative effect on Discord. So
we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, so I've reverted back to the 2.3.3 for recording the show, but whenever I'm editing anything, I'll use the new 3.02 because I like the single file that it saves the audio in. So, I'm not going to get quite the same audio quality with the headset as I do with my home rig because I've got a dedicated mic and everything, but I'm sure Dale can sort out any tweaks in the editing process, and it's come out fine in the past, so I've got no problem with that. As I said, I've used it several times, so I was quite confident to bring it. The main issue for me is when I'm away is have I got the bandwidth to connect and run it.
That's my main thing, because anytime I have to go anywhere, it's going to be in a motel or a hotel. And
Yeah.
I'm totally at the mercy of their whatever they've got. And
whatever they
long
limit.
as I can... Yeah, and as long as I can eke out like 100 kilobytes per second or something like that, I'm fine. Give me
Could you use a hotspot? Like on your phone?
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I've done that in the past.
Sometimes that's a little better than the hotel Wi-Fi, or they make you pay $5 or some odd dollars for whatever to use it. Yeah, that's what happened to me when I was on vacation.
Or they make you pay for anything beyond the second or third device.
Well,
right.
Yeah, I'm lucky here at Woodbrook. Woodbrook did a massive upgrade to their internet connection of about 12 months ago, and I now get 16 meg Wi-Fi.
Not bad.
That's a lot better than I had at home a few years ago. So yeah, it's well adequate.
That's cool.
That's what I'm using. The only problem I've got with this particular laptop is the screen size. I would prefer a slightly larger screen size laptop. I've considered getting an Entroware laptop with a 17-inch monitor.
You can get, well, I do enjoy my 17-inch laptops, don't get me wrong, but you can get relatively cost-effective external monitors that work pretty well, portable monitors that will work really well with your laptop, whatever it is. Because you can either get the HDMI ones, or you can get the USB 3.0 or the 3.1 ones. And while there is some added latency with what is it? The software that's used to talk to it. I can't remember what it's called right this second because display link. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I'm
it's
not sure if
optimized
this
for
is,
Windows.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
This has got HDMI on it, so an HDMI display would work fine.
Yeah, but the thing with the HDMI displays is you also have to power it, so you'd have to hook it up to either USB or the wall anyway.
Yeah.
And the USB 3.0 and the USB 3.1 ones, just one connection and you're good.
Mm. Yeah, but anyway, if I do decide to get a new laptop, currently the Entroware's out of stock. And the only issue with their 17-inch model is it doesn't have a DVD drive, which this laptop does. But that's not a major issue these days because you can get good quality USB ones that'll connect. So, and an Entroware will flog you one of them as part of the package anyway.
I never leave a DVD drive inside my laptop.
No, you always put another drive, another SD in or something, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, storage. Yeah. So, but it's been a fairly good rig. This is one of the PCs that I originally bought at the auction that I used to go to until it closed down. I think I paid a couple of £100 for it at the time, which felt like a lot of money, but it's served me well for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, as far as any kind of new thing goes, a Slimbook is probably the only thing that would tear me away from a ThinkPad. Just the fact that they look so sleek. They are nice.
But
I like my gaming laptops.
Yeah, but it's also
my desktop
pounds.
replacements that are semi-portable.
Yeah,
as long as they're plugged into the wall.
Yeah. Look at this though.
Well, this one's plugged into the wall at the moment. I take the battery because that's the one thing. Being a 7-year-old laptop, the battery life isn't brilliant. So
I think mine's only 4 or 5 years old. But trust me, you're gonna want it plugged into the wall because if it's not, it's got about an hour of power.
Yeah, this one stretches to about an hour and a quarter if you're lucky.
Well, I say an hour of power. That's if you're doing, light load stuff, casual internet browsing.
Is it just me, or I can't go anywhere on this website? Here, I'll click on that. How about that? Pro X. There we go.
Oh, it's all in Spanish.
Yeah, it is. I can't find the English button. It's around here somewhere, but I can get my way around. And I swear maybe I just need to make it bigger. That's it. But see if we can get a shot of what they look like, man. They look really, really nice. Okay.
They show you all these fancy angles, but you never get a proper look at them, do you?
I know, right? Here we go.
That's
kind of the idea. Where are we at? Yeah, show me the thing. Yeah, that keyboard just looks really nice, man. And they just look really, really good. And they're super thin, so yeah, I've considered it a couple times, but yeah. Oh, there it is. English.
But like I say, the Entroware, it's quite a nice machine.
Right.
Even spec'd up with the i7 and a 1 terabyte NVIDIA NVMe and 32 gig of RAM. It's only about £1,200, which is good value.
Which makes it about $2,500? No,
$1,200. It'd be about $1,600.
Okay.
Like I said, the only thing is it doesn't have a separate graphics card. It's integrated graphics, Intel integrated graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I'd love to be able to get an Alienware or something like that, but Alienware is a bit overpriced for what you get.
Yeah.
And
That,
well, okay, they're a lot overpriced for what you get.
Owen was looking at the Razer Blade, that super green laptop, but it was kind of in the same boat as the Slimbook, where it was very sleek, very thin, very light. Take a look at this thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that
but
thing's
we're-
expensive, the Razer Blade.
Well, he was looking to get
Yeah.
it secondhand, and I mean, it's
Okay.
a gaming thing, has all the RGB,
Right.
craziness, but I don't know how well any of that is supported by Linux in general. So,
Well,
Well, we were
also
Razer's
talking
relatively supported.
We were also talking
good.
about 17-inch laptops, and the Razer Blade, I think they have
Yeah,
two models, a
15.
13 and a 15.
Yeah.
So your best bets after that is to go heavyweight, because you're not going to find a 17-inch Ultrabook.
Yeah.
They're kind of, opposites there. So MSI.
So anyway, Joe, what kit have you got for portability?
Well, we've discussed my portable setup on multiple occasions, so I'm kind of keeping it light. Still running the MSI GE 726QD, which is a 17-inch gaming laptop desktop replacement. And one of the major changes is that I'm no longer packing a USB microphone when I'm traveling. I've kind of downgraded, but at the same time, I'm using the Razer Nari Ultimate, which is a wireless 2.4 gigahertz headset. So it has its own USB dongle, which eliminates a lot of the Bluetooth headset problems that you get with Linux. And it sounds great. I've used it on a bunch of my podcasts. It wasn't yesterday, but like the last Saturday that I was on, I would have been using the Razer Nari Ultimate, and it sounds really good for a headset. So for portability, that's great. And then because I'm packing a large laptop, I usually also pack a mechanical keyboard. And for traveling, I'm not using my 60% keyboard that I use right here. I'm be using my RK100, which is a full size like keyboard with all the
You
keys
travel
on it.
with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Well, I have to have a bag big enough to hold my 17-inch laptop, so it's going to
Yeah.
be big enough to hold my giant keyboard too.
So what
And-
do you call? Is that like a duffel bag or like a whole rucksack?
Oh,
It's got to be huge, man.
Hold on. Yeah, it really is a huge
Oh wait,
backpack.
that's not a couch behind you. That's your backpack. That's
Yeah,
what holds
yeah,
your laptop.
yeah. It's actually a
Oh,
footstool. But I
got
think
it.
right here behind me, and I don't want to get up to get it, is the backpack that I use for that. And yeah, it is actually fairly large. And then, like the only other thing I'm gonna pack is my trackball mouse, and I'm gonna pack the Jellycomb one instead of the other one that I have. Who makes the other track? The M57, the Logitech M570. I'm not gonna pack that one. I'm gonna pack the Jellycomb because the Jellycomb has the two Bluetooth modes with it, so I can use it with multiple devices if I need to. And then the Microsoft Life Cam, which is probably as old as my children.
Yeah, probably right.
Yeah, it does 720p. I could get something newer. It's just hard to get webcams right now at decent prices. So I'm holding off on that again. And
Does
then
your laptop not have a webcam in it?
It does. If I don't use the LifeCam, I'm going to use the one from the laptop itself, if nothing else. But the LifeCam is small enough that it'll fit in the bottom of the bag and not really cause any issues anyway. Other than that, I do like to also pack that Dell Latitude, what is it, 5390. Fairly portable. It's a tablet, but it's got an i5 processor in it, and it works great. And I've used it also for doing podcasting on the go. Its battery life is a little bit better than the 17-inch laptop. and it's also more convenient to plug in because it's USB-C. So
Hmm.
I can charge it just about anywhere. Where with this, this 17-inch laptop, I gotta carry that giant brick around with me.
Oh yeah, you do.
Mhm. But
That's how you're
that's
getting so beefy, Joe. You got to carry that
oh, is that what
laptop
it is?
around.
Is that
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
of
That's why I
course.
go to the gym so I can carry my laptop around.
Mhm.
You got to get built up for that. But other than that's my portable setup. I can't really think of anything else that I need. I mean,
You gotta put
I'm
quotes around portable there, man. Portable
yeah.
setup.
Well, when it's the Latitude, it really is portable.
Yeah, true, true,
Because
true.
as long as I have that and my headset, I'm good to go. Technically, at that point, I don't even need the extra mouse and keyboard. Although I prefer to have my trackball mouse with me at the very least, because I
Right.
can just use the fold-out keyboard on the Latitude.
Mhm.
But the problem with that one is the camera is not supported on Linux. Nobody's been able to get the
Aw,
camera working, so I would
that's
have to
sad.
bring the live cam at that point. And yeah, that's really my portable setup these days. How about you, Leo?
Mostly the same, but I have something that I have to add. So I mean, it's a T450S. I'll use the built-in webcam. I mean, if you have to, stand 3 feet away from the internal mic and use that, but no, don't. Um, I think, and because I'm thinking like, if you want to do video or something like that, you can get some good lighting. If you're in a hotel, like there's always lights. There's always like 5 lights in different places. You can just bring them all together in one spot and kind of point them at your face. It would work fantastic. You don't have to take a ring light or anything kind of crazy with you or whatever. But yeah, I mean that stuff. I think any laptop will do. My T450S is fantastic for that. But Mike has come across a mic, and that mic is the Samsung Q2U. This thing is amazing for the price you pay. You get, I think, what is the, oh wow, I can't think of the one. It's the workhorse. Uh, anyway,
Yeah,
looks just
but
like this
you
one.
really want to carry an XLR setup
No, wait,
on
wait,
the
hold
go?
on. I'm trying to find the one that it is against, and I should have wrote it down, and I did not write it down. But anyway,
I think you're talking about the Audio Technica one, right?
no, it's
Well, this one is also USB. It looks like.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
I'm
the
getting
Audio
to that.
Technica one has a USB and XLR one.
No, the
Mhm.
Samsung
Right.
Technologies Q2U USB XLR dynamic microphone. So it
Sure,
does do both.
the
Right.
Shure SM58, this one.
Oh,
This one.
okay.
In terms of quality, it competes against this thing, man. I mean, to be honest with you, unless you have a trained ear and have heard both of these mics, you'll get them mixed up. The quality of the Samsung Q2U is fantastic. It is amazing. You're going to pay half as much. And so that particular one, so this is the one that anybody will get. If you're a professional, you're probably buying a bunch of these. But if you're not a professional,
Now,
this.
if you want to go straight like USB portable mini mic, I've heard really good things about the Samsung Meteorite.
So
It was on
the
my short
Meteorite though
list
is
for
a
a while.
condenser. So if you have crappy neighbors or anything like that, it's gonna pick that stuff up.
Yeah.
So the beauty of this particular one is that it's dynamic. So it only picks up what is literally right in front of it. It is USB, so it's portable. You have to carry a cable. That's it. The accessories, that's the thing with this, is that it comes with a tripod. It comes with the clip. It comes with the extender. It comes with a USB cable. It comes with an XLR cable, and it comes with a windscreen. You don't have to carry around a pop filter with you. The windscreen will take care of most of that, as long as it's not directly in front of your face. So you're talking, what is this? I mean, it's $15 for an XLR cable, $5 for a USB cable, $10 for a tripod, $5 for a windscreen, couple of bucks for the little clip. You're talking that $60 that you're paying for this thing is already just the accessories. You've already paid that much in the accessories. So the mic is free. So honestly, you can't beat it. this particular mic is probably one of the best mics that you can get your hands on for under $100. And if you need, I use big stands, so not portable though. In the non-portable side, you spend $15, $20 for a stand, and maybe 10 or $15 for a pop filter.
Yeah,
And for under $100, you have a studio audio setup, and it's beautiful.
I was talking about the one there
Well-
up in the right-hand corner, the Audio Technica
Yeah.
one. That's the other
This
one
one here.
that's just like this one.
So, oh yeah, it does have XLR as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for
And
a
it
little
is
bit more,
half
but
the
you know,
price
I
of
thought
the
about
regular
getting that
output.
one.
does it come with those accessories though?
Not sure.
Now I know for a fact that the Samsung does, and if this one does, that makes this in a way better value. But I think, man, save yourself $20. Get the windscreen. So it didn't show a windscreen at all, so you still get one of those in the other setup. Save $20, get the windscreen too, and this mic will serve you pretty well for a really long time. So before I have to get shipped back out to do more traveling and this and that, I'm going to pick one of these up because you just can't beat it. You cannot beat the quality and what you get, and the fact that it's USB as well, so you don't have to carry around like a USB XLR audio interface or anything like that. And I mean, it's a nice backup mic. If this mic, the mic won't break, but I mean, if the audio interface breaks because I drop it, or the mic breaks because I drop it, or I break because I drop me, I mean, I'll have a mic that I can still use in any which way I want to use it. So anyway, all that fit in a little bag, tiny little bag, and it'll go in any backpack or anything like that next to your laptop, and it'll be everything you need, man. So I think that right there was what I wanted to bring to the table. It's a fantastic mic. It's a dynamic mic. So even if you got dogs barking behind you, you got people being loud in the next room, don't point it that direction, and it won't pick any of that up. So
Yeah, and it looks like it's got a gain on the back, so you should be able to adjust it, right? Or is that the other one? Oh no, that one doesn't. I think the
Yeah.
Audio Technica one had a gain on it. On
now
the
I
back.
feel like let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? That's probably headphone volume.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other thing, right? Like, so I'll totally recommend just earbuds. I mean, headphones, especially over the ears, are way more comfortable. But if you're recording on the go and you don't want to take a bunch of stuff, earbuds, even the crappiest earbuds you can get your hands on, are going to be way better than pumping stuff out over the speakers. Because you're going to run into a whole lot of issues with that, with feedback and things like that. But yeah, so you plug your earbuds into this thingamajig, and it shows up in Linux as another audio device. So just make sure you got that chosen. It'll pump the audio through your earbuds. Make sure you got the mic chosen in input. Cinnamon, by the way, the desktop, makes this super duper easy. You right click on the little audio up there. Bring down output device, and if you have something listening to the mic, the input device is there too, and you can just swap on the fly. I try not to do that during our recording sessions here because I feel like it'll break Audacity. It may not. I don't know. I'm just not brave enough to
No,
try
it
it
will.
during
It will.
recording. All
It'll
right,
break
so I won't.
Audacity.
And then I see Clayton mentioned Blue. Blues are good, but let me tell you something. They are condenser mics as well. So I have one of these. I have a Blue Yeti. It is fantastic. I have one of these. A Blue Snowball.
I have a blue snowball that I used to use for the show, but yeah,
It
it
is
picks up
also fantastic. Oh,
everything.
that's the ice. That's the normal one. The ice is good too. The diaphragm is a little bit smaller, so the audio quality is a little worse. But I mean, portable, the ice would be good too. The downside to these types of mics, though, is that as Joe said, they pick up everything.
Well-
So it's got little switches on the back, right? And they're going to be like, oh yeah, look, you can pick it up unidirectional like this. You can pick it up omnidirectional like this. It doesn't matter. They are condenser mics. They will yes, that is what it will try to do. But any noise 2 rooms away, it's still going to pick up because these mics are super sensitive. So
Yep.
any condenser mic, any
I
dynamic mic,
picked up the HyperX microphone. What is it? The HyperX Cloud or something like that.
Yeah.
Really great sounding microphone, high quality.
Right.
It looks great on camera. It really picks up really well. The problem is that it picks up everything extremely well. I mean,
I
yeah,
can't even find it.
if you drop a pen 3 rooms away,
Right.
everybody's gonna know it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is I'll recommend nobody grab a condenser mic. I mean, avoid the mistakes I made. I bought 2 separate ones. I'd spent $150 on 2 separate mics, to realize actually 3. I have what is it? The MXL 770 or something like that. So I mean, I have 3 condenser mics that I refuse to use for this particular thing because of the amount of noise that it picks up. The only way I could figure out how to get a condenser mic to shh is these boxes. Let's see, audio, phone.
Well, I think my Samsung Meteor
Oh.
here is
One of
also a condenser mic, and it works pretty well.
You stick your mic in that, the whole thing, and you put your face right in front of it, and it will cut down on the amount of noise that you get. But so you buy a mic, you buy an expensive mic to sound really, really good, and then you got to put it in another box that costs more money, and so just get a dynamic mic, man. And
Yeah, there's
and the Samsung
particular reasons
QTU.
why you get a non-dynamic microphone.
Yeah, it's because you're not in
and-
a studio.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
Well, this
yeah.
is a condenser mic, and it works pretty well.
Right. And I think
Well,
a
mine's
lot
a
of that has to-
condenser too, actually, but it still does pick up a lot more.
it picks
But it
up
sounds a
both-
lot better than my other mic, I think.
What is your turtle's name? Tortoise.
Dahlia.
Dahlia. See, it picks up beautiful Dahlia all the time.
Yeah, but that's loud. That's like really loud. Like when I take my headphones off, it's just as loud as what you're hearing.
Oh wow, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like Joe, I heard a door open and close earlier. But and it's just indicative of condenser mics in general. So I mean, if you're looking for real sound isolation in a not good room, a dynamic is always going to win as far as keeping all of that kind of stuff out. But anyway, so I love it, man. The Samsung QTU is fantastic. I mean, if you're on a budget and you can't spend the $60, I mean, these will work. They definitely will. But I think, what did Moss use? It was like, I don't know. If it was,
Yeti. Was it
he
free?
did, but he got a dynamic.
Yeah, I think he
even
uses it for
something-
his other podcast now, and it sounds pretty good.
He got something like this, but it was USB. And I mean, that sounds good too. It sounded fine. It didn't blow me away. It wasn't amazing like that, but it was good. It was fine. And it kept a lot of, I mean, we barely hear the cars now anymore, but those must be loud. And the mic must be pointed out his window to hear that stuff. But anyway, I'll get off my get a dynamic mic soapbox, but that really is the answer if you plan on doing podcasting or something like that, like long term, more than just a couple here, a couple there, then a dynamic mic is absolutely worth the price you pay for one. Even if you get the cheaper ones, they'll serve you way better than even the most expensive condenser mic because of the way that condensers are meant to be used. That kind of stuff that it needs to be or in the entire room. And yeah, you need to have rugs everywhere, all kinds of stuff. So just get a dynamic. Anyway, no more soapbox. Josh, what do you got?
I just got a very basic setup. I just got my Dell XPS with an i5 6000 series. My Blue Snowball, which I used to use for this show in the first couple of episodes. But that's just because I have it and I didn't want to get another microphone.
Same here.
That's basically what I use, and then I'll use my Logitech webcam that I have here because I have one of the Dell XPSs that has the nose cam, so it's like at the bottom of the screen, so it looks up at you. So I've tried it a couple times. I'm like, no, I can't do it. No.
Well, would it make a difference if you like elevated the laptop?
Oh
way
yeah,
up
that
and
makes a
kinda, like,
huge difference. But you have to elevate it to the point where your hands are up here.
Yeah. Well, see, so what I'm thinking is like, okay, how wide open does it open? Like, can you do it to where it's like just a flat surface?
Well, you mean the what do you mean the cam? I mean the
Does it
notebook?
open?
Yeah, like the whole
180 degrees.
laptop. Yeah, can it open to 180?
No, it doesn't open that far.
Even if
No.
it was like 140 or something like that, to where it's kind of like a really wide V. I feel like you could make some kind of harness. Now this is going way
Oh
too
yeah.
far
Oh yeah.
to
Yeah.
get
Yeah. I'm
away from the
sure.
nose cam.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
You're
I'm sure
moving
you
away
could.
from a portable setup there.
right. But this is
Yeah.
as far as I went to make condenser mics sound good. Like I stuck my head in a box and it sounded really good, but I had to stick my head in a box.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I did the same thing with the snowball when I first had it. I built that
Yeah.
little box thing, and it still just wasn't what I wanted. So I
Just
had to
picked up
upgrade
way
and
too
upgrade.
much.
And
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
think
still
I
have a
think if-
condenser mic now, but it's a heck of a lot better than the blue snowball. I mean, it doesn't pick up it nearly as much.
yeah. So the snowballs are really notorious for that. But anyway,
But yeah, that's my setup. I mean, it's very simple. It's only if I have to. It's if I did a lot of traveling and stuff, and I really wanted to do this show while I'm traveling, I'd probably get a mic like Mike has and go with that, because I mean that's the best. I didn't even know. Well, I did know about it, but I didn't realize how much you got with it. So I mean that's a great
Yeah.
deal for traveling.
yeah, it really. I didn't know until he had mentioned that that it came with all of this stuff, and I was like, wow.
I actually thought
So-
it was a Samsung mic for a long time, and then I
yeah.
realized it was Samsung.
Yeah, exactly. But good stuff. Well, any last thoughts? Oh, Josh, is that an XPS 13 or 15?
Oh, it's a 13.
13.
Well,
alright.
what headset are you using? Well, headphones are you using when you travel?
For me, I probably would bring these ones. These are my Audio Technica. What's it? XM50 or whatever, TX50. I don't know, something like that. They are. I'd probably just bring these ones because.
M50X.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, no, they're not the X, because these are like really old. The new ones are the X model.
Oh,
But,
the old ones are actually better. They have better hinges.
Yeah, these ones are like I don't know. These might be like 8 to 10 years old. They're old. They're very old. But I would definitely bring these because these sound amazing. I can't get away from these. This sound. This sounds. I've tried a lot of different headphones and none of them match up to this.
Yeah, I had Klipsch S4s. They don't sell them anymore. And when they were getting rid of them, I bought a couple extra pairs for $10 each, but I think they were normally about 60 or $70.
Yeah, if I could get an affordable pair of earbuds that sounded as good as these, I would so do it. But the ones that sound as good as these are like way too expensive for me at least.
Oh yeah. There's nothing that's gonna compare to these M50Xs like in the
Cough.
price, like anything less.
Cough.
Right.
What are you coughing about?
One more triple drivers.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying.
What was that?
One more triple drivers. Well,
One
more's the
more.
brand. Triple driver
Oh,
is the model.
Well, I never tried those, so maybe I would give them a shot. I mean, how
Yeah,
much are they?
They are rather expensive if you're buying them new.
how
I
much?
tend to
Mhm.
get them
How
broken
much?
for $15, and then I fix them.
Hold on, how much though?
So
Yeah.
Like how much?
Yeah.
like 100. Hold on, let's look it up on Amazon
What
since
did
we
you
have
say it
Amazon
was?
brought up anyway.
Tell me the name again.
One more,
One
as
more.
in literally the number one,
Oh,
and then
triple driver.
more. One more
Okay, there they are. Yeah.
triple driver.
Over ear. So they're
No, right there they are. Aren't they there
Yeah.
to the
They're
left?
in here.
No, the in-ear
Oh,
ones.
Oh, they're down. They're down $60.
That's not bad.
They sound incredible.
Yeah, that's how much I paid for the Klipsch S4s. Those were and those were fantastic. And then I got like I said, I got a couple extra pairs for like
Well, if
10 or
if they
15
can
bucks.
compare with these, I would definitely get them for a mobile setup. Definitely.
Now, okay, you're not going to get the sound stage that you get with an on-ear or an over-ear.
Right.
You're simply not going to get that reverberation that you can get with a set of cans. But for an in-ear, these are the best I've
Right.
ever heard.
Okay, gotcha.
I can't remember what these are. I'll have to report back. But these are probably going to do the same thing for you. I'll have to get back to you on the name. But anyway, so I mean, all the audiophile whatever places
Right.
recommend these. But one of the coolest things is that the little thing is detachable. So the IEM is
Right.
detachable from the cable, and you can buy new cables.
Yeah,
So
which style connector is it? Is it the MMCX connector that I keep talking about?
I have no idea, man. I bought them because they were good quality and they were about that price.
That's an MMCX connector.
I'm gonna guess no. Well, I don't know. I mean, can you tell what that looks like?
Yeah, that's MMCX, and I have a
yeah,
pair of those.
Yeah. So
Those are actually pretty good.
yeah.
But
Exactly.
no, I buy the One More triple drivers specifically so that I can modify them and put them on my various headsets and using the MMCX connector that I put on myself. And that's what I was planning on showing how to do on the Saturday show.
Right.
But yeah, I love the One More triple drivers because I got really used to listening to the high quality cans that I had picked up because I spent so much time sitting in front of my PC using the 99 Neos or the Nari Ultimates or any of the other really high quality headsets that I have, the ATH M50Xs. And then I tried to switch back to an in-ear, an LG in-ear, just stock, and listen to music while I was biking, and I couldn't. The sound was so garbage. So I upgraded the drivers to the One More triple drivers, and I've been good since.
Right. All right. Well, any last thoughts? All right.
Oh, I do want to add something about your portable router setup. Sometimes you do need to take a portable router with you. Last year, we actually I had done that the innards on how to set up a portable router specifically for a visiting family or going to a hotel. That is still extremely valid because a lot of hotels only allow you to hook up one device.
Yeah. Oh, so you can put everything behind a NAT.
Right. And you set up your own NAT, and if you're on your router, as long as you can forward the port 80 long enough to do the authentication with the hotel, you're good to go. And it's also a really good way to keep your kids online if you have kids, because then you just name it and password it just like the router at home, and you're set up in 5 minutes. And it also prevents a lot of the snooping that can go on at a hotel if you have the VPN set up on your router, and just it unblocks a lot of things that a lot of hotels try to block. Right. So definitely something to look into and give a try.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the innards. What I thought would be short was not.
Blame Joe.
So we'll head. Yep. So we'll head to the vibrations from the ether. So we had a few emails. One of them was just a request for another email. So Alan N says, thanks for a great podcast. I've been listening for many years. In a mintCast a bit over a month ago, you mentioned you got an email from maybe Dave regarding fixes for XPS 13 network card dropout. I have an XPS 13 9380 with the same issues. Could you please forward the email, as it sounds very interesting? So the deal with that was right here. I sent Alan the link to this particular thing, but what was really important out of this was in the Etsy Network Manager conf.d default-wi-fi-powersave-on.conf file. You change wi-fi.powersave from 3, which is enabled, to 2, which is disabled, and that prevented the dropout. So anyway, thanks, Alan, for asking. I hope that was enough. If not, let me know. And then Elizabeth asks Tony, or emails Tony. So take it away.
Yay! Yeah. So she says, Babylon 5, yay! They made fun of it on Big Bang Theory. I have all the DVDs. Yeah, I got a box set of all the DVDs with all the movies and the other series that started, Crusade, but sadly it died after 13 episodes. But I've got the whole lot. She goes on to say, I have the remastered Star Trek 2. They redid it, much of the SFX, with new digital, cleaned up the images and sound. It's like watching it for the first time all over again. I take it you mean the original series with that. I've heard about that. I've not actually got that. Now for the issues. I'm running MintMate 20.1, 3 monitors when I'm home, laptop, HDMI and VGA. Yeah, all my stuff is old. When you... I can't see. When using multi-monitors, the desktop icons jump to the secondary screen and config tool. Is
Yeah, something with graphics.
something with graphics, yeah. They did that in MintMate 18. Then Firefox gave me trouble. After using it for a while, the touchpad got glitchy. Using Chromium, I have no issues. Other than that, the new Mint is working well and the multi-monitor issues is tolerable. I did try Manjaro prior to this and had issues with Software Manager not accepting the password and came back to Mint. For your information, my laptop is a Dell Latitude E5570.
Yeah, the multi-monitor thing. Do any of us use multi-monitors?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Joe?
do all the time.
Oh yeah. Okay. So what do y'all think about that?
No, I have to agree. It is a bit of a pain that a lot of your desktop icons will jump around, or sometimes they'll move all the way to the leftmost, and then sometimes they'll just stay on the primary. It depends, and I'm not sure what all the depends are there. Now, it's also kind of a pain with the taskbar down at the bottom, and there are multiple ways that you can set it up. It's still just an issue of getting it set up. Like a lot of times it'll just be on your primary monitor, whatever is set up as your primary, but then you can go in and right click and change the settings. And I think you can either have it appear on both monitors, or you can have separate ones with separate, like, different things that you set up on it on each monitor. So, but the problem with that gets to be that you can't see everything that's running from any given monitor. You can only see what's running on that monitor. So, like I said, there's different ways that you can set it up, and all of them are a pain to set up.
Yeah, and depending on when you were running Firefox, Elizabeth, it might be the 89.0.2 that we were talking about before. There were some web render glitches that may be why the touchpad was being weird. So I don't know. Update it all, give it one more shot. I think 89.0.2 is available. Maybe, just maybe, it'll work for you. Because if it seems like it's Firefox centric, then hopefully it would be an update that would fix that.
And then she sent in a part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have issues with this one. This is what I was referring to.
Yeah,
in the
I was
last
just going to say that, but we'll get there in a minute.
episode. All right.
I hate flat packs.
Ugh,
They're
right in the gut.
huge and duplicate what's already on the system. They're slow to install and slow to start. If there's an issue running something on my system, I don't use it, and I look for alternatives. We'll have to beg. I'll have to beg to differ, and I'm sure Leo might have some.
Yeah.
I think we've had that discussion before about duplicates and how
That's a very valid concern. If you have a small disk and you're installing flat packs, you're in for a world of hurt. Because yes, they absolutely do that. So if storage is a concern for you, flat packs may not be what you want. So she's got a very good point right there.
Funnily enough, you might be better using snaps, because once the initial snap D's installed and you start installing more, it goes back and uses part of the snap that's already in. So it doesn't have as big a hit on resources.
Yeah, and one of the things about Snap, though, I don't think Flatpak compresses their stuff by default, but that explains. So the thing about the slow to start, I've never seen that with Flatpak. Things have always been very instant. As instant as if I were to have installed it via the repository or a deb or something like that. It's Snap that I've seen have that issue, and and the reason. So this all kind of comes together because Tony said that snaps will be a little bit better on the disk because they're compressed when you download them. Then they stay compressed on your disk. And when you run them, they decompress into memory, and that explains the slow startup time. But Flatpaks are not compressed by default. so they don't have to uncompress to run.
Now, I haven't really seen like slow starts with snaps or Flatpaks, but I do see slow starts with app images. And
See, I don't
I
play a
do
lot with app
understand
images,
that. Yeah.
so
Well, some things I have only really run
yeah.
with app images, but I do understand that. I mean, it's a very self-contained program,
Yeah.
and so I could see why that would take a little bit longer to start up. But
Mm.
no issues with snaps starting slowly. No issues with Flatpaks starting slowly.
I
And
know it's gotten. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing with Flatpak, that actually got us out of a bit of trouble a while back when we were still using Mumble,
Oh
because
yeah.
the Mumble that was in the repos wouldn't accept our certificate, whereas the Flatpak
Right.
Mumble worked with our certificate. It did
Right.
have
Well,
other issues, but we could get round them. But
if
it
you
wouldn't.
remember right, we started out with just the regular deb install, and then we
Yeah.
did the snap install because the regular deb install quit working. And then the snap install had the same certificate problem, so
Yep.
then we had to switch to the Flatpak.
Yeah.
And then there actually turned out to be a relatively simple fix to the certificate issue.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it did get us out of trouble for a while.
Yeah. Well, so kind of going back, the snaps, they are much faster on startup now that they moved to. I think it was from XZ compression, which was very CPU intensive, to LZO compression, which is still intensive, but it'll decompress a whole lot faster. That's the idea. And so you get a faster startup. But the only time you'll notice that, and Joe, this may be why you're not seeing it, is on the very first use of that app. So if you were so Chromium, you would open it up. I timed it. 8 seconds. It took 8 seconds, Chromium did, to open up. And then, of course, I could close it and open it back up, and it would be instant. So it was only that first launch that was ever slow. But yeah, it made the whole computer feel slow. It made the laptop feel slow, and it wasn't. So honestly, it's more just a perception thing than anything. I should have been able to get past it, but for some reason, I don't know, it just bothered me way too much. I was like, I spent all this money to put an SSD in this thing, and now it's being really, really slow. So yeah, whatever. But anyway, so good points though. I mean, they are huge. You're right. They do duplicate what's already on the system. You're right. And yeah, depending on your internet connection, they could also be slow to install. So I mean, 3 good points. I only take issue with the last one, which is the slow to start thing. So yeah. Anyway, next up is Brad A. He says, depends on how I am doing it. If I'm in a hurry, I use Bitwarden generator function. And this is talking about how we generate passwords, or just talking about the password conversation in the past. And so the Bitwarden generator, if you're using Bitwarden, there's that little button, that little arrow circle-y kind of thing. You push that and it'll regenerate you a new password, and you can use that easily. He mentions there's also a generator function in KeePass XC. Then he goes on to say, there's also a package called APG if you want to separate your password generation from your password manager. And he wrote a script that will do that, or that will deal with creating a password as well. So anyway, user local bin bash. Oh, this is because it's coming from not Linux. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so anyway, so he's got a script in the show notes. I'll leave that in the show notes if y'all want to take a look at it, to get yourself a essentially just a random password to pop out of that. Oh, look at that. What? In the middle of using Google Docs, it's like, I signed you out. Thanks, Google Docs. Aren't you just fantastic? Well, it's a good thing that I'm logged into Google in 8 different ways. Because that'll make this work, man. Anyhow, let's get all the way down. Thanks, Google. Aren't you amazing? There. Okay. Anyway, so that was it for that one. Thanks, Brad, for that. That's fantastic. This will help you, just in case you're extra paranoid. Because we were, did we talk about it, the Bitwarden thing? Well, it wasn't just Bitwarden. It was all of those kind of, I think that's probably where that conversation came from. All of those extensions or whatever, where they're not necessarily secure, and back and forth because we were talking about the Firefox password store. Anyway, my brain is broken. But anyway, this is a way to generate your passwords without having to use anything else except for your Linux terminal. So good stuff. Either way. Anyway, next up, John Wallace. So the saga got a pause, but he did say he still needed some help. So he said, I would appreciate your assistance with resolving the following, please. I've changed my user account password and now find when I log in, I get an authentication required box with the message an application wants to access the keyring, default keyring, but it is locked. I can click on cancel to get rid of the box. If I attempt to enter a password, it doesn't accept my previous account password nor my new one. How can I get this resolved? Well, anyway, he emailed back and said he got it figured out thanks to the Linux Mint forum. And I wonder, John, if you would email us back if this was the issue. So I tend to stick with the same password. I don't really, I guess, change it much. But I also don't do auto login. I've seen that auto login has an issue with this. So if you are not putting a password in when you log into your machine on first boot, then you may see this more often than not. But anyway, the solution I seem to have found was if you just kill the login keyring, it'll have to auto-generate everything else again. So that one command, rm, and then the path to your keyring, and seems like that handled it for the majority of people that were having that issue. So if that was the solution, let us know. If it wasn't the solution, let us know. And what the solution was. That is interesting to me. Anyway, so since this is about, some of it is about NVIDIA, I'll let one of you NVIDIA folks take this one.
Well, I'll read it for you. This is from A. Stambo. After listening to 363.5 and in particular your discussion on graphics cards, I have a question. Question 1. I currently have an NVIDIA GeForce GTS 250 driving two 1680 by 1050 displays. The NVIDIA server settings on Mint show me at 1024 megabytes of video memory, 195 megabytes of this actually gets regularly used. I currently do a good bit of photo editing, Inkscape work, and a good bit of productivity work. Not much of a gamer. If I wanted to upgrade to something a bit more suited to average Steam-type games, what would the mintCast recommend I look for? Okay, let me answer this one first. Right now, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's actually the current answer.
Yeah,
which is
definitely not.
Everything is way too expensive because cryptocurrency, but that seems to be maybe leveling out a little bit, so maybe soon. But let's say everything is MSRP, nothing is weird with the market right now. What would you recommend anyway? So it sounds like light gaming.
Well, then your best bet would probably, well, it depends. If you wanted to go budget, then your best bet is still the 1650 Ti.
1650 Super is the
1650
better
Super.
one. Yep.
Okay,
yep.
1650
That's what
Super.
I have. Yep.
Yeah. And then if you're looking for mid-range, then probably the 2070.
Right.
Take your pick. And then if you really, really wanted to go top end, then you're looking at the 3090 range. You could go with the 3070 or anything like that. But yeah, a 1650 is going to be good enough to get you by if that's all you're really wanting is Steam-type gaming.
Yeah, because on mine, I can game almost anything at 60 frames per second if I adjust the settings a little bit. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Now, that's all NVIDIA as well. I'm not up to date on the AMD. So.
Oh yeah, probably a 5500 XT. It's what I've got up on the screen right now. It's good for mid-range. It's not the most fantastic thing in the world, but it'll play most games on Steam. I mean, even the heavier ones scale it back a little. Yeah,
it's about the same level as the 1560 or 1660 graphics NVIDIA.
Yeah, but this $200-ish video card is selling for way more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
your best bet
or more.
This is insane.
Yeah, honestly, you can build a new system or buy a new system with integrated graphics that will get you playing games on Steam for less than a graphics card costs.
I
Yeah,
assume
right
we're
now.
talking. I assume we're talking a desktop, right? Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
talking about the AMD Phenom later on.
5600G.
Yeah.
Mike said that the XE graphics are pretty good. The new
That-
Intel graphics.
Supposedly, yeah. I'd like to get my hands on it to play a game on it and see, but yeah, that it sounds good to me, man. And so they're on par with the AMDG series.
Yeah, now. Yep, it
Mhm.
seems like it. Seems pretty good. And they used to be like phew, night and day.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to do, I was going to PC Part Picker because what it would let you do is if it had a history. Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. So like this one was $299. I think you can find them for as low as like $250 or something like that. If they were MSRP, if everything wasn't crazy. But yeah, the MSRP on this one was about $300, and right now it's selling for $1,100. Do not buy a video card right now. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Don't.
Heart palpitating.
Yeah,
Breathing.
please no. Please stop.
Yeah, it
But
might be 2 years before graphics card prices get back to where they should be again. And we keep seeing this where, graphics card prices for a very short amount of time are actually where they should be, and graphics cards are easily accessible. And then something happens. Last time it was majorly with the crypto market. This time, the crypto market had a bit of an impact, but it's more just the general chip shortage that's going on right now that's causing the problem.
that's what's continuing to hurt the entire
It's a chip
market.
shortage. It's the supply lines are messed up. Everything is like just out of whack right now. So yeah, like you said, I think 2 years. Even though I don't want to say that, but really your best bet right now is to buy a laptop. I mean, that's, to be honest.
A pre-built system with a
Even pre-built systems are hard to get though.
Yeah, because people noticed that was the best place and the
Right.
cheapest way to get the graphics cards that everybody's looking for. So yeah, a desktop replacement laptop is probably the way to go, and it definitely doesn't have to be new. I mean, mine's got a 960M in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for his type of gaming, it doesn't have to be new at all. You're just gonna want to watch the battery on that. You're gonna need to probably get a new battery if it's X amount of years old, 5 years old or so.
Plugged in and you're using it as a desktop replacement.
Yeah, if you're gaming, you're not going off battery mode.
Right. But if that cord unplugs and you don't have a battery in, that's good. It's done.
Yeah. So I would say RX 580 if you want to save a buck, assuming every MSRP is correct, right? Like assuming you can actually buy one for what it cost. And then if you want to go a little higher than that, then the 5500 XT.
Well, I read ahead a little bit too, and honestly, the guy would probably be, well, I say guy, the person would probably be better off getting just a gaming laptop.
Yeah, maybe so. Oh yeah, if you're buying now, that's probably your best bet. But if you're gonna wait until things settle down a little bit, I'd recommend those two. Or on the Nvidia side, what were y'all saying? The 1650 is a good choice.
Yeah, 1650 Super. Yep.
Yeah, and then the 1660 Super is probably the next step up from that.
Yep.
And then once you go above that, you're in like 2060, 2070 territory.
Then the price goes way up.
Yeah, and so there's recommendations on both sides. I prefer AMD because those drivers are built into every single version of Linux ever. You don't have to do the NVIDIA song and dance. You don't have to worry about which kernel version you have. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. It usually, as long as it's not hot off the presses and new, it just works. The baked-in driver does work. The Nouveau driver does work, but if you want to do gaming on it, you got to go get the actual NVIDIA driver, which most distros do support and make it real easy to do. Just less steps. I prefer Mesa.
No, I really do need to do my research on the AMD graphics cards just to be more up to date and be able to compare. Because the price to performance is actually better with AMD anyway, so I need to look into it. But on to the rest of the email. Question 2. Currently, my build consists of an AMD Phenom 2 X4 995 processor, mounted atop an MSI NF750 G55 board. Temps for the CPU stays around 30 degrees Celsius and the GPU at 47 Celsius. This resides in a Cooler Master CM692 case. However, as near as I can count, there are a total of 5 fans running inside this thing, and it can be quite loud. There is a large fan on the front, a large fan on the back, as well as on the top of the case. Then the CPU has the large heat sink with a fan inside, and then the GPU has its own fan directly mounted on the graphics card. Is there any way to quiet this thing down? Do I need a different case? Do I need to just give the thing to Goodwill to go buy one of those System 776 Thelios? I need help because I quite like this setup, but it sounds like I'm sitting next to an air register. Please keep up the great show. I look forward to each and every episode. You guys make my work week fly by. Now, okay, I loved the AMD Phenom 2 series when it was hot. A couple of years ago, or I think a year or two ago, was when I replaced my server. And that's when I decommissioned my AMD Phenom 2 X4. What was it? I can't even remember the version number of it. But it's a great machine, don't get me wrong. But it is definitely aging. So if you still have an AMD Phenom 2 X4, then yeah, it's getting old and it's probably time to upgrade, especially if you're having problems with loudness and you're looking at replacing the graphics card anyway. As a temporary fix, I would suggest getting a 2 or 3 year old gaming laptop. Mine works great, the MSI GE726QD, but really price to performance, the MSI large laptops are what I recommend to friends and family to get if they're just looking for something to get by. You can pick up a used one for $500 or $600, which would be comparable to buying a new graphics card and doing Noctua fans on your device to get it quieter. Now, that is a suggestion if you're really determined to keep this and make it quieter. Just change out your fans to silent fans. Noctua being the most touted on the market. I haven't actually had one in my hands, so I can't say yes, they're great. You could replace all your fans with Noctuas and or go liquid, but then that still leaves you with fans, but usually they're larger, slower fans, so they're not making as much noise.
But you're trading fan noise for pump noise. Those pumps aren't silent.
See, I'm not a plumber, so
yeah, that's it. What he doesn't say, he says there's a total of 5 fans, which makes me believe that he is using the side cooling. So there's 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and then I guess you could, I don't know. So on the side here, it looks like it's got spots for 80s, and it looks like you would just be it would be real easy to throw 80s on there. If you've got any fans on this box that are smaller than 120 millimeter, get rid of them. That is where your sound is coming from.
Yeah, the larger fans are going to be slower, but they're going to move just as much air.
Yep.
So they're going to be quieter.
Yes, exactly. So, so in the front, it looked like 120 mil at 17 decibels. Man, that's quiet. So I really doubt this is the reason that it's loud.
Well,
if
you
got
5 fans, and that's not counting the fan inside the power supply.
Right. So those are the other 2 things that I'm going to talk about. The CPU fan. Are you using the stock thing? Because the moment that CPU ramps up in temperature, that little 60 millimeter fan is going to whine and kick up and be loud.
Especially the old AMD fans, they were really loud. I knew that.
Plus
the stock ones.
The Phenom line needed a lot of cooling.
Yeah, and it did. I mean, I had a Hyper 212 on that thing too. Because I want to say it's the same chip. I don't know if it was a typo or not. I had the 955, but there might be a 995 as well. I don't remember back then, but I had the 955 BE, and that thing would kick up in temperature.
Considering that he specifically says the CPU has a large heat sink with a fan inside, I'm it's probably not stock. Because
Right.
if you remember, those stock ones
Yeah,
were those little squares where it's set right on top. So
Oh, okay. So yeah, I must have missed that. So
he
large
probably
fan
has
on
like
the
a
front,
blue orb or something
large fan
similar
on
to
the
one of the blue
back.
orbs.
Sometimes you can adjust the fan speed in the BIOS depending on what level of motherboard you have. If you have a higher end motherboard, a lot of times you can adjust the fan curve. And what I do is I actually have the fans off on the case until it gets to a certain point on the CPU, and then I turn them on so that when I'm gaming, it'll come on. But like now, there's no fans on.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Also, a lot of your CPU coolers from that age range, I don't know about the newer ones, had manual switches on the side of them where you could dial back the cooling that way.
yeah.
Also, if it didn't happen from the get go, if you're just noticing it now, it could be also maybe a bearing going out in one of the fans too. I've
Right.
heard that get really loud.
And if
Yeah.
you're going to upgrade, you might as well upgrade to the Noctuas.
Yeah, and that's kind of the deal, right? I mean, Noxious are probably they're ugly, but that case doesn't really have a lot of like you can look into it. So, I mean, Noxious, yeah,
You can
do
get black
Noxious.
Noctuas instead of the brown Noctuas, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So the thing that the one thing that really concerns me, if you don't have any 80 millimeter fans or whatever, just buy the slower 120s. That would be easier. Just go with the Noxious. The graphics card though, because when I push my graphics card all the way, it can get loud. Like loud. So if it's the graphics card that is the cause of all this noise, then man, I don't know.
You can
You
find
gotta adjust the fan
aftermarket
curve.
solutions. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
find aftermarket solutions hardware wise and do replacements. But I hope you really enjoy tinkering with hardware
yeah.
because
And I mean, at that point, maybe water cooling is because there's no pump that's louder than a graphics card at full bore. So maybe that could be an option as well. But I don't know. I think good fans, honestly, install some fans at the bottom. If it's the graphics card that is kicking up, install fans at the bottom. That case had two 120s that you could put at the bottom, and those should hit the graphics card. So bring a lot of that airflow hitting the graphics card, passively cooling it, so that its fans will not have to kick up so high. If it turns out to be the graphics card, that is. But yeah, if you could give us more info about which fans are being, I'd say pop the side off and then put your ear to it and see which fans are the
disconnect the
loudest.
case fans and see if you still get the noise.
Yes. Do a little bit of troubleshooting on that,
Yeah.
and if you find the pain point, then we can have a better recommendation for you than, I don't know, buy quieter stuff.
And since it's an AMD or a video graphic card, and if you
Yeah.
find out that is the noise, you can try an application called Green with Envy, and you can adjust the fan curve with that.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. I'm glad, can make your work week a little bit easier. So next up, Stan reminds us to update the webpage. One of these days. Okay, so here's what I've done. As long as I can remember to update YouTube, then which I have been able to do. I have our Sunday show today and our Saturday show already figured out, and I tend to do that fairly regularly. Then this page will stay updated just fine. So I've gotten rid of the stale dates. I've gotten rid of the everytimezone.com just on that page. So just making the quick YouTube change is a lot quicker, and I imagine I can carve out 5 minutes. The other stuff took a little longer, and work's just been crazy these past few weeks. So yeah, it's kind of fallen by the wayside. But anyway, hopefully it's a little more updated. But I have to touch it, and that's what makes it hard. I just don't have the time sometimes. Anyway, that does it for the feedback. So yeah, check this out. Joe, what do you got?
Well, you asked me to add a couple things into the feedback. Well, I only added the one though. Now this is called the YouTube Fixers, and it's actually by a YouTuber that I watch that's starting it. He's hooked up with two other trying to fix guys, over in the UK. And it's from my mate Vince. He's starting it, but he's, like I said, 2 other Fix-It guys are on there, and they're just 3 little like tea break fix segments put together, and they're trying it out, seeing how well it works, collaborating on YouTube. Definitely give it a watch. The 3 fixes that they did on there were pretty awesome.
Sweet. Well, thanks for that. We needed something in there, and I appreciate you for that. All right. So then announcements, right? Yeah. Time to let y'all know. Nothing too terribly interesting, other than our next mintCast episode will be recorded on July 11th, 2021 at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. The Every Time Zone link is going to stay there now and forever. So those will be part of the show notes. Those are really great because folks that listen to the podcast don't go to YouTube, so they can't see the what's going to happen in the future. So that link will still stay there. I love that link being there. It's fantastic. I can handle that because I actually touch it. I physically actually touch it every episode. And then our Saturday stream, the next Saturday stream is going to be on July 3rd, right before those of you in the U.S. are going to celebrate Independence Day. That's that day. So 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time there as well. Got a link for that. Click on that. And you know what? Those of us that are recording from the U.S., so I guess that's everybody but Tony, there might be a lot of noise on that particular stream. Because everybody decides they want to blow up stuff right outside everybody's windows. So
Yeah, especially when my neighbor throws fireworks at our house.
Oh, yeah, no, see, that's not good. That's really not good.
That's when you
But,
throw mortars back.
Right? So
Oh, I
right,
thought about it.
one of the things that you get in the U.S. is cops tend to not respond to those types of complaints like the day before, the day of, and the day after, because everybody has so many, and there would be there's not enough cops. It's just not enough. They got
If
to deal with
someone
other
didn't
stuff.
die, they don't care.
Exactly. Like if you're not like in imminent danger, they're not coming. They're not.
Yeah, the
not
first
gonna-
time one of my neighbors threw firecrackers at my house, they would hate me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
At 2 a.m., guess what? It's going to sound like a whole slew of shotguns are going off in their yard.
Yeah.
Well, if I wasn't
So-
renting, it would be different.
Yeah,
No.
definitely. But
Rent,
I do like the
whatever.
mortars because it's like you get the big boom, but it's not quite as big. But you're doing it, so and you got to run and all that kind of stuff, man. I really appreciate those. Those are fun.
Some fireworks manufacturer would be extremely happy that I helped pay for their yacht that year.
Yeah. So the next episode, one of us may be coming back without a finger. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, that does it for the show. So let's get out of here. Joe, where can we find more of you?
Oh, I'm on a couple of other shows. The Linux Link Tech Show. You can find that at tllts.org. I'm on the Linux Lugcast. You can catch that at linuxlugcast.com. You can find me on MeWe. I'm not on there very often anymore, but I still check in every now and again. Or you can send me an email directly, jb@mintcast.org. I do read all of those.
And Bo's not here this time, and I think we got to get this updated. But he's on the undercastnetwork.com. You can find him on YouTube, Undercast Collective, and of course, Crowbar Kernel Panic as well. Though we're kind of double teaming that, so that premieres on the mintCast channel. So just follow mintCast, follow CKP. You'll know on both, and then the edited episodes will come out on the CKP channel. Is that right, Josh?
Yep, that's about right. That's how we're doing it for right now.
Beautiful. All right. Anyway, Tony Hughes.
Yeah, you can listen to some of my old HPR podcasts. I'm on Hacker Public Radio. I'm host ID 338. You can get me on Twitter and TonyH1212. I'm on th@mintcast.org and distrohoppersdigest@gmail.com. And what about you, Josh?
You can find me at or email me, at joshontech@mintcast.org, or you can find me at joshontech on Twitter and most other social sites, as well as Crowbar Kernel Panic with Bo, and that's about it.
All right. And Mike's not here either. Oh man, he was gonna come on and he was gonna tell us a lot about some cool stuff, but then ended up getting sick. So you can get him at mike@mintcast.org and Grouchy M on both Discord and Telegram. As for me, leochavez.org and at Leo Chavez on Twitter, Leo at c.im on Mastodon, linuxuserspace.show for another show, or, that's about it. So go find me on one of those things. But before we leave, we want to make sure to acknowledge some of the people who make mintCast possible. Owen Peary for our audio editing, Josh Lowe for all his work on the website, Hobstar for our logo, InitRD for the animated Discord logo. It's so cool. Pling. And Londoner for our time sync. Bytemark Hosting for hosting mintcast.org in our Mumble server, archive.org for hosting our audio files, HPR for our backup Mumble room, maybe, sort of, kind of, maybe, and the Linux Mint development team for the fine distro we love to talk about every single fortnight.
Thanks, Clem.
Thanks, Clem.
Thanks, Clem.
Thanks,
And
Clem.
Co. We're done.
Hey, we've finally finished.
Thanks, Dad.
Yep.
All right, stopping my recording.
So I've been monitoring my CPU temperature this whole time, and I'd say it's probably like 85 in my room right now because I closed the door and there's no AC, and it's sitting at about 58, 56 C.
Wait, your CPU is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll check. But right before I kill the stream, I'll crack open psensor and we'll see what it says.
That's because it's 85 in my room right now. Usually it's like 70.
Well, you know what? Let me check right here because I hear the fan spinning up a bunch in my little desktop. This tiny thing. Yeah, it's 57. 57 to 65 in that range. It seems.
Yeah,
to be.
so that's about same as mine.
Yeah. Well, this is the Ryzen 5 2400G, I think.
Oh,
And then-
okay.
And then I'll tell you what the 5800X is on here in just a little bit. Oh, psensor works just fine. It depends on the chip that you have, Nishant. It's I guess it depends on the kernel then.
Yeah.
I'm on kernel 511 and psensor has like all the things.
Yeah.
And
The only
Yeah,
thing
and-
about psensor is when you tell it to look for all the different sensors, sometimes it doesn't parse them very well depending on the motherboard. But it
Yeah.
will find all the sensors, so it does
Right.
work.
Oh yeah, so he's on 5.12.12, so it should have all the stuff. psensor works fine for me on Pop! OS on 5.11 on the 5800X. The 5500U, that may...
No, there's a
shouldn't have been-
command you can run from the command line to tell it to search for all the sensors, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, do psensor -- help and see if it'll give you some of that info. But yeah.
Sensor
Yeah.
detect. Hold on, I'm looking it up now. Pseudo sensors detect.
Oh, okay, got it, yeah. What'd you say, Tony? I'm sorry?
I was just going to say my audio's probably going to take a little while to upload because
Whoops. I left mine on. It kept recording.
Yeah, I forgot to export mine. I'm just doing it now.
Audio. Do. Export.
let's see what it says.
What'd I do? Oh, there we go. Okay.
It's going to take about 20 minutes.
We'll
wow.
be all right.
Oh, because of the high speed internet that you have.
Hey, it works, he says. Sweet.
It works. 20 minutes is better than an hour.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Well, thank y'all, everybody. I don't think we're going to kill it for another couple minutes, but thank y'all for showing up, by the way, before y'all get out of here. Anybody that came into the live stream, I appreciate that.
It's time for bed.
Yeah, it's bedtime. And Nishant, yeah, we'll talk about it on the Saturday meeting. We'll see what's going on, and if you want, you know what we might do? Yeah, I think you'd even mentioned it. Come on to the Saturday stream, which will be next Saturday. Check YouTube. It's got the date and time, so you'll know when it's going to be. It's already scheduled up and everything like that. Come on to the Saturday show, and we'll see what it sounds like and everything. And we'll just have a chat at least and see what's going on. Yeah, I know. I'm horrible about getting anything and everything. Like I said, these past couple of weeks, man.
Hey, life gets in the way. It's not like we get paid to do this.
I know, man. I know. So, yeah, I was not ignoring you on purpose. I promise. It's just more of a, yeah, if I can actually look at things during the week. So
There
yeah,
we go, now I'm updated.
if you did send me a message, sorry about that. But yeah, do come on the Saturday show. We always go into. We're in there now. Like actually, you know what? You in Discord? Pop in now. Pop into General. I'll say what's up.
Right, guys, I'm going to get out of here and I'll leave the upload going.
Cool.
Tell them to jump on the stream real quick.
Yeah, I did. So
Good
yeah, we can do
night.
it now.
See you,
Have a good
Tony.
one.
Good night.
But yeah, if you want, yeah, hop on now, or if you can't do it now,
There
hey,
we go.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, turn on that microphone.
You're muted. On this.
Ouch.
Am I too loud?
That microphone.
Yep.
Your gain is turned up way too loud, man.
Hey, I'm gonna mute you for a little bit.
Turn your gain like way down and then slowly bring it back up.
Yeah. I'm gonna unmute for just a sec. We'll see what this is like. Oh.
All right, give it a shot. Nope, can't hear nothing. All right, give it a shot.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, but yeah, you still got a lot of background noise.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the
I'm
gain
in
is
a-
still a bit high.
Yeah, I think the gain. So I mean, you're clipping a lot, so the gain is really high. So if you turn down your mic volume, that might help. That might help with the background noise as well. See, this is what we all have to do. Like every single time. I think we've gone through so many iterations. Oh yeah, that hurts a lot. For audio quality and stuff like that. I don't know that we would even be able to like remove that out. But you know, actually there was one
Linux
person.
Webfly, hello.
Hey. We this is Clayton. What we did or what we offered to another listener, well it was Swift. It was Anthony. He wanted to come on the show, but I think times didn't work out, and he had suggested later on that he do some recording. And then we just play that during the show.
Right. I remember that.
And that is also something. So I mean, if the only place you can be online is somewhere with a lot of noise, I don't know that we'll be able to use that. But if you can go somewhere quieter and record a little bit, we can put that into the show.
If you've got an interesting segment that we want to talk about and you record it and you send it to us, yeah, I see every possibility of us playing that and then discussing it on the show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So he said he can adjust. So yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, play around with it. Use Audacity. Here's the thing. Here's the way that that you figure that out. Open up Audacity and just press record and let it just record a little bit for maybe 10, 20 seconds, and then say something. I don't know, any phrase, whatever you say a lot. Say that a few times, and then just save that, and then play it back a couple times, and then play with the settings. How loud your microphone is, all that kind of stuff. Just play with
That's
that.
literally how I got started with this. I did that for weeks. Trying to
I
get
went through.
perfect.
I went through a lot of terrible microphones too. When we first started the show, I had some really crappy microphones.
Yeah, like my Blue Snowball, that was bad.
Yeah.
I hated
I don't
the
know
thing.
what you can get a hold of, but the cheapest dynamic microphone you can get a hold of that's USB. That is just amazing quality difference between, what comes on like a laptop speaker or microphone or something like that.
Well, even a headset. If all you can get a hold of is a 3.5 millimeter headset with a microphone on it, don't use the 3.5 millimeter jack on your computer. Get a USB adapter, and that will greatly improve your sound quality.
Mm-hmm. And actually, Dale is one of the ones that got onto Distro Hopper's Digest with the that is, and it's a shame that Tony left already with doing the distro reviews, because he even did a BSD thing not too long ago.
He just did it last time. Yep.
Yeah, and since we don't really do a whole lot of distro reviews or anything like that, I don't know that it would fit. But 20, yeah, actually, Moss bought one for that price. I don't know if there's like extra taxes. I know there are extra taxes, but let me see if I can find the one that he had, because that's literally all he spent. He spent like $22 or something. So let me see.
But
I
yeah,
don't know.
Nishant, submit that to Distro Hopper's Digest. I mean, they actively are looking for people to do just that. Review
Yeah.
distros that they don't have time to do.
Wow.
They've asked repeatedly in the past.
Let me see. Yeah, they did actually. That's yes.
Yep.
So let me see if I can find a USB one. Whichever one, we're gonna have
It's
to.
so
ask
hard to
Moss.
find dynamic USBs. It's like they got every condenser in the world, but no dynamics.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Hold on.
yeah, they're meant to be fed through an XLR,
Yeah.
something or another. But let's see if I can find it. And so, I mean, you might want to look at. Yeah. So yeah.
Check your local market. I mean, there's always guys that tried to get into podcasting that just gave up on it after a while.
Yeah, maybe.
And so if there's somebody living close to you that's selling one used, I mean, a used one's going to work just as fine. So
yeah.
Oh, was
So-
that you, Clayton? I thought I heard you for a second there.
Oh, you're really low.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
low.
dude, we really can't hear you. Like we can see that you're activated and we get
Yeah.
a little bit of whine, but the voice is like a buzz.
Let's see if you can't bring that up. You can do it in Discord. You can turn yourself up, I think, and then check also in your.
Choke up on that
sound.
mic.
Or yeah, if you already have a dynamic, you gotta really eat that mic. I'll have to ask. Yeah, let me ask what Moss had, and maybe you can get it locally, so you don't have to import it. But
Well, you can
if
usually find like name brand stuff that people bought
yeah,
thinking they were going to make massive amounts of money podcasting, and then they found out that yeah, that's not true.
just get a dynamic USB. If you're gonna have to import it, then just look around for a dynamic USB mic. That I mean, even in a loud room, that will sound a lot better and make it easier to edit the audio after
And
the fact.
some condenser mics aren't bad. This
True.
Samsung Meteor, I really like it.
Mm-hmm. And IEMs, they don't have to be fantastic. If you're wanting to listen to music on them,
And seriously, the USB adapters that I'm talking about for 3.5 millimeter jacks, you can get some for like $1 from China, and they will make a gaming headset at least sound usable enough to do podcasting.
yeah, here are the ones I found them. They're Linsol. These are the ones that I have. These are fantastic. They sound
They,
amazing.
the
look
Tin
interesting.
Audios, the Tin Audio T2s. I have a pair of those, and they do sound decent. It's just the one more triple drivers sound better
Yeah,
and
honestly,
have better
any
durability.
yeah, any real earbuds will do. Unless you're, like I said, unless you're looking to play a lot of music or something through them, and then it really becomes important.
Yeah.
What you're
But the
listening.
T2s, brand new out of the box, sound really good.
Dude, yeah, they're fantastic. I love them.
Yeah.
I preferred just headphones, but these will be for travel or whatever. The Clips S4s were what I had
Moving
before
around.
this. Mhm.
Yeah, but I spend like all day, every day with a headset on, with in-ears in. So, just so I can listen to audiobooks.
Yeah, Audacity, it doesn't really matter so long as it works. I just use what's in the repo for Linux Mint, which is 2.3.3. I know Tony was using the new-ish one. It doesn't matter because they all export to FLAC, and that's what we'll do. So we'll record it all and then export it to FLAC, and
Oh.
then we'll upload the FLAC.
I heard Clayton again.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm trying the mic. I'm not
hey,
sure.
there we go.
That's a
Sounded
little
better.
better. A little better.
Yep.
Yeah, well, not sure about anything right now.
If you could make it a little bit louder, that's perfect. But otherwise, I mean, we can at least hear you.
All right, how was that?
Hey,
Oh, that is better.
Now?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's a
pick
lot
up a
better.
little background noise now, but I think that's all right.
Oh,
What
Well,
microphone are you using?
I got no idea. It was a gift from somebody.
Okay,
Ah,
is your computer automatically set to use that microphone, or did it set to use the internal microphone? Because you sound like you're still a little bit far away from it, and like it's picking up a lot of other sound as opposed to being a dedicated microphone.
Okay, I have a webcam with a mic, and I also have a headset with a mic.
the headset mic might work better.
Yeah.
That's what I'm currently trying. And in the settings, it says microphone. That's all it says. Go figure.
Yeah.
Built-in monitor, audio.
Well, your sound is clearing up. I don't know if it's something you're doing or if it's just clearing up on its own, but
Oscillating fan.
yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, I got to get out of here. I got to get stuff done before the sun goes down.
Yeah, those heavy things aren't going to pick themselves up, so.
What, son?
Hmm?
I said, what, sons?
Well, I was talking about the weights
Oh,
in
I
my
got
garage.
got to take care of those too. For
So-
sure.
Since we've been on the podcast, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 warning errors on my modem, and one is dynamic range window violation. No idea.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. But my stream held up, so that's good.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was very good. I didn't notice anything weird the whole time.
We'll see.
Yeah, right.
It's been about
Alright.
once a day that I have to reset everything, so.
All right. Well, go give it that reboot, and then I'm gonna go kill everything else. Y'all have a good one.
Food.
Thanks for
Yeah, I'm
tuning
gonna
in.
head out too. So I'll see ya.
We'll see y'all again next week.
Later, guys.
Bye bye.